Hey everybody, here we are with a special Friday night edition of D&D. So, yeah, if you tried to tune in last night, well, we weren't here. Sorry. Life gets in the way of D&D sometimes, but we are back and ready to bargain. As you saw from the episode title, we're definitely going to bargain.
There's a question mark there.
There's a question mark.
Yeah.
So, if you don't know what's going on, there's a thing called the Vanishing, and we're trying to stop it. And if we don't stop it, then everyone will forget about who they are, and the whole world will be blanketed in this terrible disease, and everyone will die. Basically. There's also like a demon lord who, if we don't stop, I don't know, like a village might die, but they might already be dead. It's kind of unclear. They're sort of like in demon land, I guess. So we're not too sure about what's going on with them. So recently we came back to the city we are from, or some of us are from, or lived, and figured out that the king was not the king. It was an imposter. It was a rakshasa. So we tried to deal with that, and then a bunch of other bad guys showed up. And so now we've left the city after causing a little bit of chaos, and decided to try to track them down in the world and start eliminating our enemies who are interfering with us trying to stop the Vanishing. We're also trying to guard an important artifact, a dragon head statue. So we were going to take it out in the world with us. And then Ephelis tricked us. He's a dirty, tricky elf who booted us through the portal and then shut the door, slammed the door on our butts right behind us as we left, and didn't bring the dragon statue like he was supposed to. But we're stranded on the other side. It's like he dropped us off and didn't give us a ride back, so we're kind of stuck over here for now in this other city. So we figured, well, we're stuck here. We'll clean up the streets here, take out all the bad guys, and then we're gonna have to figure out how to get back.
Yes.
And we're gonna be kind of ticked off at Ephelis when we do go back. We're not gonna be very happy with how tricksy he is. But first we have to survive. So last time we were searching through the streets of the city, trying to find any clues we could about, I don't know, if any of the baddies are here. And we got a mysterious note and wandered into a house and went through a tacky door, and there were some baddies sitting there. So yeah, so we're about I think
Wigbit was sitting there.
Wigbit,
I'm offended.
Somebody that looked like Wig that was sitting there.
Yeah, someone who looked very much like Wigbit was sitting
a really
there.
good person.
Unless it's Wigbit, and then they switched out, and this person next to us is not
no,
Wigbit
It's
the whole
not
time.
Wigbit.
Which could
That's
be
all
the,
there's a switcheroo.
that could be the case. We don't know who the real Wigbit
Wigbit
is.
would sit on a throne behind a tacky door.
He would. Well, I mean, maybe he's forced. He's forced to do it.
Yeah.
Wigbit does not know that it's tacky.
That's also true.
Yeah. So we don't know what's going on. I mean, maybe this Wigbit has been here all along, and the Wigbit that we thought we knew is actually an imposter Wigbit. Maybe it's Ephelis pretending to be Wigbit. Who knows?
We are going to have to kill both then.
We're going to find out. Yep.
Kill Wigbit and Ephelis? Wow.
No, Wigbit and Wigbit, both Wigbits.
Yeah. And then
Oh,
Ephelis.
both Wigbits. And
Now,
then
did you just admit that one of them is Ephelis?
I think Josh did.
Probably
Yeah,
the
it
one.
was me.
About to die.
It's probably the one on the throne, honestly.
Probably.
This was probably all his setup to get us to his lair. He's like, I'll kick them through this portal, and then I'll go to sit on my throne. And when they approach
So I can
me,
get my layer actions.
yes.
That's right. That's right. Tonight is actually about killing Ephelis. All right, here we go.
Who's dressed up as a Wigbit?
Yep.
Right.
And who's actually been a
Yeah.
Rakshasa the whole time. He just looked like an elf. I mean, we can't trust anyone, really.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we-
half-elf.
We've
Man.
never seen the Rakshasa and Ephelis at the same time.
We haven't.
Ooh. All
Well,
right.
let's kill him and find out.
So many theories. All right, yeah. So we're like right here in Sadgernis. I also don't know what was going on with that compass that was up there, but that was pretty awesome. Whoever was doing that,
Yeah,
that was pretty great.
What were those?
Compass?
I don't
I
know.
don't remember. I wrote it down, but I don't know what it meant.
Compass?
There's a compass?
Oh, there was like a
Compass
F,
rose in the top right.
G, R, and W or something up there. I don't. There were different letters. It wasn't. Yeah, but whatever it was,
It's gone.
I
Yeah,
liked it. It was
No
mysterious, and I liked it. So we've come to the room
Mm-hmm.
with the tacky red door. And as the door opened, there was laughter involved. That was suddenly cut short as the Farron appeared in the doorway. And this fellow who looks remarkably like Wigbit sitting on this large chair. Yeah, I can call it throne if you want to. It's just a nice, big, comfortable chair. And he was laughing, and then his laughter cut short as he sees the Farron. And his eyes kind of go wide. And he holds his hand up. He holds his Wigbit hand up. And kind of beckons you to enter. He says, in not Wigbit's voice, he says, welcome to my home, collectors.
Something
He's kind
Ephesus would say.
Motioning.
It is.
For
He
you
knows
to-
where the collectors.
So
Yeah.
this does sound like
Ephesus?
the Rakshasa.
It has the distinct.
I mean, the
voice that
laugh
you've
and
heard.
the yeah.
Yeah. He says, as you walk in and you see these areas of darkness that don't seem to go away as you walk in,
And we can't see through those.
you cannot.
They're smoky.
They are. Is before you decide to do anything rash, just understand that my associate, the one you've been looking for, I believe, and he that knows what he is about within his, shall we say, particular field, he is nigh. And with him is the favorite granddaughter of our dear Lord Alernus. You would not want anything untoward to happen to her or on your conscience now, would you?
Who's the
We
Lord?
don't really know who she is. So.
Yeah, you know Alernus. Alernus is the king of the realm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this realm?
Yeah.
Oh, kill her then.
Okay, we're good guys.
Yeah.
We're the good guys, right?
Good
Yeah.
guys for the-
But she's a bad guy.
No, she's just. The entire realm isn't a bad
Does
guy.
the king live?
Why would the king not live?
Well, the last time you were around a king, you'd killed them and assumed their place.
He was, shall we say, ineffectual. This king, well, he's slightly less ineffectual.
So was this move against Emilus your move, or is it his move?
His move, as in Lord Alernus.
Yes.
I mean, I am merely a lord. He is the king of an entire realm. Only one
Yes,
such
but without
he-
your presence, would he have attacked?
only one such. I am not in the business of speculation, my dear Farron. Oh, or do you prefer Farron Jolasar, as I have heard it pronounced? Or is there another name that you perhaps want to hear?
Wanting to hear it and earning it are two very different things.
This is true. So, would it be better to have this conversation if I were not here? If I were instead... He disappeared. He actually doesn't disappear, but he does change form.
So I can't see anymore.
Yep.
No rush.
That was the plan. We blinded Wigbit. You can't see it all at all?
No, because like my site was based on that Wigbit.
Oh, it wasn't based on the real Wigbit?
No.
Oh, that's not good. My fault. Hang on. Let me fix that.
I have
He changed
control
it.
of this Wigbit, but I don't know how. Yeah.
Well, I just deleted that Wigbit, so. Really?
It's all right. I'll fight in the dark. I mean, it's fine.
It doesn't matter. He's go. Yeah.
Oh,
He's not going to show up as an actual rakshasa?
Well, he's not a rakshasa. He's merely a. He's merely a poor nobleman, and y'all busted into his house in the middle of the night, insulting his ugly red door. Actually, y'all didn't do that, but
I mean,
hang on.
Wigbit kind of did.
There we go.
Not to his face, though.
that worked.
That worked.
All right, cool. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So he changes into this fella
Like a
here.
dude.
Yeah, he's pretty handsome. I blew him up a little bit, so just a nice, handsome-looking fellow with a livery on, and he's got the. And I couldn't make it on this, but he's got the heraldry of Valeus on, which is the gem between the two lions, like right there on his crest. He's got rings all over his fingers. He looks the part of a certain lord. Is this better?
You still hide your form. Are you afraid of standing before us as a hollow Raja?
And he pauses when the Farron says that. And he looks at the Farron. And there's a moment of like, I don't know if I really appreciated that. And then he kind of covers that up with like one of those smirks of Interesting. One who is hidden for so long is accusing another of hiding his form.
Not accusing, but you are.
Then reveal your true self, and I shall reveal mine.
I stand before you. I am in disguise right now, aren't I? All right. So the Farron drops the disguise. Forgot that.
Oh, yes. That
Last
is
of
more
these
like it.
guys too.
Uh,
Can't remember if I.
I think you would change. Yeah, I think you were still the.
No, I
The
changed
bait.
back.
Did you change back?
I think so. When we were in the tough guy village.
Okay.
Strong guy.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah, we went to tough guy town, and yeah, I think I changed back.
Yes, that is closer to the truth. But yet, there's still something not quite right.
That's according to you. This is me.
Yes. So, what is it you are here for, collectors?
Stop you.
Me? I am merely Lord Ralun Amandi. I am merely a nobleman of the city of Valeus, or the city of Sadgernis, in the realm of Valeus. Your fight seems to be with someone higher than me.
Probably.
You have been in our way, however.
You've been in the way a lot.
I've been in your way?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Well, you did kill the king of Emelis.
I did no such thing. I never laid a hand on your poor king.
You can put it however you want and try to twist your meaning however you want. But you interfered. You delayed us when we have more important things to be doing than dealing with you.
Rowan of the Southward.
Yes.
So your mean is as true as your words. I almost
So-
didn't have to do. I almost did not have to do so much at the castle. It seems that you were doing it for me. You killed a few more people there. I wouldn't have even had to have been around. But I'm sure you're doing it all in the name of justice.
Not exactly.
Hmm.
What are you doing, and in what name?
My name is Lord Raluna Mundi. I believe I've been over this.
No, not the BS lie. The real name and the real reason.
Now, only a fool reveals his true name, no matter what it is. Just like I cannot believe you actually are known by Wigbit.
Do you know my true name?
I do not, but I'm assuming it's not Wigbit. You see, we all have secrets here. The bigger question is, what are you willing to discuss so that everyone can leave here with information that they may need? Or is just bloodshed your thing?
What information do you have that we need?
Oh, as a nobleman, I collect all kinds of information. I may not be a collector, but I certainly gather information.
Still haven't told me what.
This is true. And you still have not told me what you were willing to trade in return.
Your life?
Ah, yes. Bloodshed is.
Doesn't have to
He
be.
does not live, Rowan. He exists here,
Okay, your existence then.
but he'll return to the Hollow Heart when we send him there, or when he flees.
Then we'll.
A place you know so well. Is that right, Farangilosar?
I've not been to the Hollow Heart, no. You
Well,
serve
that's not
willingly,
what I-
the one that serve with less will.
But yet willingly all the same. Or is there a precious village that will perish if you do not? We are all beholden to many things, and some of them may not be of our choosing.
So do you serve him by choice?
I serve as I will. Who do you serve, Baron Jolasar?
Those allegiances are shifting.
Shifting suggests that you are between allegiances.
I have found that I may have overestimated the power one has in my life.
So you are making amends for past transgressions.
Perhaps.
Who do you serve, Tiger Man?
Tiger Man.
Well, you won't give me your real name, so I'll go by what you look
I'm
like.
Lord Ryluna Mundi. I can assure you, I do not resemble a tiger.
Who do you serve?
Would you like me to call you Frogman, Wigbit?
We can, yes, that'll be fine.
Oh yes, right. I forget. I serve King Alernus, Lord of this realm. It seems to me, however, that all of you are serving something much worse than I.
What's that?
And he looks over at the Farron, and you can tell his eyes fall on the staff.
You think the evil staff's in charge of us?
You haven't tried to destroy it yet, and you just named it evil yourself.
It is very evil.
Very interesting that you seem to be chasing after a tiger man when there's a source of evil right in your presence.
We'll deal with that in time.
Oh.
Fortunately, that
Good.
staff didn't cause chaos in our realm and set us back.
Then you are a bigger
Vanishing.
then you are a bigger fool than you would appear, Rowan, if you do not believe that staff has not caused chaos in all the realms.
Okay, well then we'll destroy it after we're done taking your head.
Mm. Yes.
As soon as story time's over, just let us know.
I think that you
So bloodshed is your way.
It tends
you know
to be.
what the staff is.
What'd you say, Mike? I didn't hear you.
Oh, I said you know what the staff is.
I know what the staff is. You know what the staff is. I wouldn't doubt your companions don't know what the staff is.
They know what the staff is.
Oh,
Is it Lord Franz's staff?
A piece. It's more than he's seen.
more than who is seen.
Lord Franz has seen in quite some time, I would assume.
Presumptions are dangerous when we speak of laws. But in this case, you may not be entirely wrong.
But I'm the one that has it, and he does not.
And what are you willing to do with it, Baron Jolsar?
What am I willing to do with it? I'm willing to do what I need to with it to end the vanishing and release his influence in this world.
And you think he'll do that with his staff?
I think it is in his best interest to help us end the vanishing at this point.
And why would it be in his best interest?
There's no way that he gets the staff without the vanishing having been defeated.
And why is that?
For the reasons I just said.
Unless he just takes it off your corpse.
Cannot enter this world.
He cannot. But there are plenty that serve him that can.
Like you?
I merely serve King Alernus.
No one in this room is believing as you say it.
Does it bother you that it came to the Farron?
Does it bother me that it came to the fair?
Yeah. Do you wonder why?
Why would it bother me?
Seem to be kind of bothered.
He does seem bothered, doesn't he, Wigbit?
Do you wonder why it came to the Farron?
I would love to hear the story of how it came to the fair.
It appeared
But
when he
that
came
is
back
if
from
you
death.
came to him when he came back from death.
Yep, in the Temple of Shar in the Shadow film.
Why did the whole thing not come back to you?
Well, the whole thing was broken into pieces, as you well know.
Do you know where the last piece is?
He stops when you say that, and he looks at you.
Yeah, and Grum's just kind of, been
Yeah.
quietly off, looking around for Sark
And then he kind of
or Sarek.
yeah,
What
he
was the
looks
name?
at you. Stark.
Sark.
And he looks at you. And he looks at the Farron, he looks at Wigwam, he looks at Rowan and says, I mean, you don't know where the last piece is.
That is a good assumption.
Huh. Interesting.
I am getting less and less interested. And he like runs his finger along the side of the crossbow where the
Mhm.
trigger is.
Interesting indeed. So you carry this, and he kind of looks back at the Farron. So you carry the staff of Lord Frazor Blue, Prince of Deception. Incomplete, as you say, even though you know where the last piece is. You carry it for purposes of good, even though you yourself have declared it to be an evil staff.
I have declared no such thing.
Yes.
I have.
Except your companions have all declared it to be an evil staff. But it's a fair point. And your plan is to somehow end the vanishing by carrying this evil staff.
I will use it as the tool that it is, and it does not need to carry out evil.
If this is such a mighty artifact, evil is part of it.
It's part of its past.
No, it is part of it. And when he says that, his eyes get wide.
We haven't
What do you
actually
mean?
Good.
we haven't actually had much time to discuss the staff. We've been busy.
Yeah, and if he starts to turn evil, we'll stop him.
Hmm.
You will just kill your companion.
No, we'll just take the staff.
Yes. I'm sure he'd be willing to give it up.
No, I'm sure he wouldn't, but it'd be for his
Oh.
best.
So the group that likes bloodshed, where things often end in bloodshed, will be able to take it from your companion without bloodshed. Yes, this makes perfect sense.
Blood's fine. You just don't kill him. Nothing wrong with blood.
Seems to be something you do quite well.
I mean, does blood bother you?
Not in the least.
I mean, neither.
So, you were here to stop me, even though you don't even know what it is that I want.
Right. You won't say it.
And even if you say it, I don't know we could trust what you say. Your tongue is forked.
And this is true. I cannot say that you were wrong.
Then what is the point of this conversation? Are you just delaying before we try to take your hide?
My hide is inconsequential at this point. If you believe what it is that you believe about me, you know that harming me will do no good here.
But if
I
it
believe-
sends you away, that
How
could
long
be
does it take
worthwhile.
you to regrow once you're reborn in the Hollow Heart? I did know a small amount of research on this, but I couldn't find a number. So it'd be interesting to find that out and add it to the knowledge of the world.
That it would.
All right, let's find out then.
However, before you do me in, as you would, just want to remind you, and he just kind of holds his hands out to both sides. You don't know what awaits you in the darkness, and he looks at Grim. Even you.
Yes, another body to put down.
Ah, and another to bury alongside it. She is quite precious.
So you say with no proof.
And again, we're back to the trust factor. Now you have to. Now you have to believe. Are you willing to gamble?
Gamble with what?
Or do you just not care?
The girl's life.
Are you not so good and benign? Maybe bloodshed is your way. Maybe when you speak of evil, it's because you have a hard time reconciling what lies within yourselves. Is that what is happening here? Is that why you allow yourselves to follow? And he points towards the staff.
We don't follow the staff.
Are you
We
sure?
don't seem to be willing to believe that. And it's
Hmm.
really none of
Matter
our
of
concern whether you believe it or not. We
It's
don't
a matter of trust, as your companion says.
we don't need to convince you of anything. That's why we're here.
This is true.
Wigwit's walking around, if you see.
Yeah, I see the lights moving. I actually see the light moving. I don't know what's going on, but I see the light moving. Yeah,
Walking around.
Yeah,
just doing a tour. Yeah.
Yeah, checking things out.
got bored. I'm looking for the girl. I'm listening.
So, the place we're at is that. The place we're at is that you do not trust me. It's rightfully so. You just met me. I do not trust you because you seem to speak out of both sides of your mouth. And it doesn't seem to me that you really have much means to have a conversation about what it is that you really want.
What do you think that we really want?
I think you, Farron Jolazar, have all that you want. It's in your hands. And with the final piece that I'm assuming you will soon have in your possession, you will take what it is that you want from him. Your companions are, well, as I would say, witless in this regard, and they're following you to that end.
I hadn't quite considered what you're saying right now, but you might be right about that.
Huh.
I didn't consider that if I remade the full staff, that I'd have control over his realm and over him.
And since you know where the last piece is, I'm not sure why you were here.
Where's the last piece?
As I said, witless.
Baron? Or did I forget?
We might not. You do, apparently. The rest of us don't.
Huh.
Baron, where's the last piece? You guys know each other? You kind of seem like you know each other.
He knows of me because his lord is Lord Franz Blue.
Oh, my lord is king.
I don't know of him because
He is a minion.
yes,
Well,
but he was the one that killed King Celsus, right? Or caused King Celsus's death without actually dealing the fatal blow.
he might have killed him. Who knows? But he was beating
Either
the
way,
king,
I'm sure he enjoyed it.
and he tortured Milan.
How many
And
deaths have you caused?
He's threatening a girl.
Lost count.
Erangelos,
I think we've lost
Roland
count.
Southwood, Wigbit, and Grim? Is that what I hear?
Of the Krusk clan.
Ah.
Whatever the
And
number
there-
is, it's about to be a few more.
Did I just hear roll for initiative?
So before
Yeah.
I forgot.
I know, I'm letting you all talk. Just keep talking.
What is this black space next to me?
Wait, are you asking or are you? Is
No,
Drew asking or
I'm
Wigbit?
looking visually. What do I see?
Drew's asking.
Drew's asking Wigbit. Yeah.
You're seeing blackness.
Okay. Now what?
Like
do I,
Darkness, ink.
now
it's
what
the
do I
black
see?
smoke.
If I go into it.
Huh. You see black smoke, like it's completely dark.
Just completely unstructured.
Yeah.
Yeah, that same smoke from the throne room, right?
Yes.
And it looked like about 9 by 9 or whatever, 3 by 3, whatever in reality
15 by
that is.
15.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I swing my arms around, do I feel anybody in here?
No, but you hit there's like a pillar there in the middle, and you hit the pillar.
All right, I'm in there. I'm in that one for a little bit.
Wigbit's filling up the pillar right now. Got it. All right.
Feeling for things. All right. I'll come wandering out randomly some direction. Over here or something.
Well,
I wander into this one. Hang around.
We're just walking around in the dark spaces. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find this girl, man.
Yeah. Eventually, you bump into another pillar.
All right.
All right. Yeah. So Wiggles wandering around, bumping into dark spaces. Do you believe? And he looks at Rowan. I called you here tonight to have a fight in my home. Is that what you believe? That I asked you to come here? I didn't have to ask. I didn't. You never would have found me if I hadn't have asked you to come.
But you haven't said what you want. You're just baiting us.
I've said a lot of things. I thought that you, Farangelisar, at least of all of you, would have understood what I'm speaking.
Do you want to tell us why you invited us here? Or no?
His eyes fall on the staff again.
You want the staff?
Yeah, he's jealous.
You invited us here to give you the staff. Or to try to take it.
He's jealous the Farron got it and he didn't.
It's not jealousy.
You just want the staff.
It is a quite powerful artifact.
So you call this here, you thought maybe you'd offer us something, we'd give you the staff in return. Is that it?
I mean, just the means to end the vanishing, but if you are just willing to come in and kill everybody, then maybe you should figure out how to do it on your own then.
You're offering the means to end the vanishing in exchange for the staff.
I don't know, Rowan in the South Ward.
I haven't heard
Seems
anything.
like you're ready. Seems like you're ready to run me through whether I say yes or no at this point.
I haven't heard anything yet from you that suggests that you have the means to end the vanishing, or...
I don't think if I'd said anything that was remotely close to the vanishing, you would even agree that I have said it. You would have merely said that it doesn't matter and you're here still to kill me.
I'm feeling around in this black space.
What do you have to say, then?
I mean, I've said a lot over the last few minutes, but
I haven't heard
clearly I've said nothing.
nothing that is useful to us.
No, I'm maybe not useful to you, but I think useful to at least one of you.
Not useful to me, then.
Ah, and so we're back to it. Everything centers around Rowan of the South Ward.
Sure.
No,
Yeah.
I'm kind of with him too. It's all been pretty useless. Yeah, from the dark as I come out. It's all been mostly useless. Kind of stroll across.
So do you actually have anything, or you just think
He
you'll
looks
eventually convince us through
He looks at
trickery or
Farron.
whatever?
He just looks at Farron.
I look back at him.
Farron, do you have any reason to believe he could help end the vanishing or provide us the way?
I think that the Hollow Raja have access to knowledge, but just because they have access to it doesn't mean that they would share it. They're aligned with the Prince of Deception, so they're certainly there to cause chaos and discord. But he could have knowledge that would be useful to us if he's willing to share this knowledge, and we can test its veracity.
Well,
Then I'm sure that an arrangement could be made.
And you notice that when Farron says that, he changes into a tiger man, as somebody named him earlier.
Mr. Tiger.
And
And his, Rakshasa's hands are like inverted. But he still has these rings on his finger that he had when he was a nobleman, and now he's looking at these rings on his fingers, like, yeah. He kind of like takes them off and like flicks them away. He's like looking at the back of his hands, which are for us the palms of his hands. He leans back.
So
He doesn't say anything.
do you have anything real to say? Or do you intend to keep wasting our time?
Surely you could not expect the staff for a bit of conjecture. We would need to have it as more of a reward than a bargaining chip.
Oh, so now you're asking me to trust you without trusting me.
Yes,
Well,
we are more trustworthy than you.
we're more
Based
honest
on-
brokers than you are.
We have not tried to topple a city.
No, you did not kill dozens and dozens of soldiers while storming a castle.
Of course, we did.
Killing. Right.
Right. Graham just looks
Where I-
confused at him.
From where I sit, seems like you might be the ones that
All right.
have a little trouble.
Has anyone else had enough of this guy? 'Cause I sure have.
just let me find the girl. Just give me a minute. Just keep him talking. Oh, yep. Are you going?
I'm here. This is as far as I'm going. For now.
This is as you wish, Farangel. Sorry. He hasn't even looked at Rowan. He's like looking straight past Rowan. This is as you wish it, Farangel. Sorry.
This is not as I wish it.
But this is how you will allow it to be.
That is not my choice alone.
It is your choice now.
I will not give you the staff at this moment, but if you can make me an offer for knowledge that will move us in the direction of ending the vanishing, you say that you know how to end the vanishing. Lord Franz will never see this staff without the vanishing having ended. And if he finds that you are the impediment to him getting the staff, because you would not help us end the vanishing, I do not think that he would be the forgiving sort. He's made clear he does not care about the vanishing. And in my first conversations with him, since my first conversation with him, he was perturbed at the effect of the vanishing on me.
Was that really?
He saw it as an impediment.
Good. He saw it as an impediment to
his progress.
So therefore, it would be in his interest to
end it.
And how best shall he end it?
You're the one that has knowledge of ending the vanishing that you're not acting on. You tell me.
Well, this is the case. Where's the last piece?
Of the staff?
Yes.
The last piece of the staff is well guarded.
The only way that Lord Franz will take any kind of interest in ending the vanishing is if the staff is complete. But you've known this all along.
I did not know this until you said it.
I think you knew it. I think you were just not willing to admit it.
I'd never seen the staff as something that was possible to reunite.
Until it was in your hand.
Room.
Until it was in your hands.
No, I didn't realize until earlier today that that's what is in my hands. Truly.
Then are you sure you're the one that should be carrying it then?
Are you saying that you would be a better one to carry it?
You do not know what it is that you carry in your hands.
I think I can learn.
But have you?
I'm certainly learning more.
What do you say, George?
Does Wigbit see anything? He looks down this hall.
I don't even see where is Wigbit.
I want to way the hell off. I'm up top right.
Oh, Wigbit is like left the room. Oh no!
I can barely hear you guys.
You see a corridor that continues on into the house.
Okay. All right. Wigbit wanders out of that hall eventually.
Okay. Like, where did he go?
Wigbit's got solo Sark.
I mean,
I'm happy to help, but he can if he wants.
I don't believe in Sark.
I
Don't
don't,
believe in what you
I
can't
don't think
see.
Sark is a belief. Oh, you don't? You think he's bluffing on that end?
I don't know. I didn't find him.
Well, that solves that one.
I'm whispering this to Graham. I don't think Sark's here.
So, Farron, before it is, I reveal what it is.
Possible he's not.
Before your erstwhile companion here runs me through with his weapon, what is it you know of the staff in Hollow's heart? Since you claim ignorance on so much.
What do I know about the staff?
And its power, especially in Hollow's heart.
It has dominion there. It shapes the nature of the reality in that space. Yes.
Continue.
With it, we would not need to fight Lord Franz, for that would be an impossibility. Under the best of circumstances, we could merely imprison him in this space.
So you do have knowledge.
I have some knowledge, but it's all theoretical. It's the stories were that he used the staff to trick and control their demon lords from his realm in the abyss. And since he's currently stuck in that realm in the abyss, reuniting the staff could free the Hollow Raja from his rule, could free the abyss from his threat. Could end the vanishing here and free the village. But that's just contemplation for a council.
I'm sorry. You broke up a little bit for me there. I apologize.
This is these are the things that have occurred to me here from what I've learned before. It's more a contemplation of a council than a plan, as it were. Would the Hollow Raja seek independence from Lord Franz if given the opportunity?
I don't think they would seek independence. They will merely consolidate their rule there. They are, what is the fiefs in a larger kingdom. They rule the areas that he allows them to rule. And if another were to say, I mean, what happens in your world when one topples a king?
I think you've seen
That
firsthand.
has not happened in quite some time, for it leads to chaos.
But eventually, what happens when the chaos has subsided?
What we had here until you disrupted the peace.
So you do understand. So if you had, well, if you have that last piece of the staff, then what are you waiting for?
I had not thought in that perspective. So, how do you end the vanishing then?
We need the staff completed.
Have the staff completed, subjugate Lord Franz?
Now, subjugate is a tricky word. But let's say you don't bargain with demon princes unless you have something to bargain worthwhile with a demon prince. I think Lord Fraz's staff would be a sufficient bargaining chip.
I see that.
And it just might so happen that, assuming he's not run through on this very chair, there may be one that might be a certain envoy to Lord Fraz who could bring this about. If ending the vanishing is truly your call.
It is.
I don't fully know what's going on, but we're not giving you the staff.
No, we're not. Don't worry about that.
Oh, okay. All right.
He just wants to go talk to Lord Franz on our behalf.
No, you want to go give your lord this staff and be a good boy and get good, he'll pet you or something and feel good. That's what furry creatures like, right?
Ah, I see that not everyone here is on board
Beholden
with
to
your
someone?
aims. On board with your aims.
I'm lord of the swamp. No one rules over me.
Ah,
I don't fetch sticks for master.
ah. You've not been running around for the collector for the last few months.
I've been trying to save my life. I'm dying of this thing. That's all.
At the collector's whim, of course.
The collector? Is that a person? I thought we were collectors.
We are that good.
Oh, okay. He's confusing me.
You are collectors.
So we're not here to give you what you want for nothing.
You're not the collector. I'm not offering nothing. I've offered plenty.
A promise to stop the vanishing, to make Lord Franz the biggest dude in hell. Or the abyss. Apparently they're different.
To die for the vanishing, that is your choice. But
I'm not trying to. I'm dying right now, though, while you keep talking.
And I've offered you a way. I know.
We're not giving you the staff to take back to your lord. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, we'll just hand it to you and we'll give you.
Then would you like to go with me then?
To hell?
No, not the 9 hells, you fool. The abyss.
Oh, right, the abyss. No, I don't want to go to the abyss. Really? Like, do we have to? Would he meet us somewhere else?
Well, I believe
go to the astral sea.
Czar here has explained how this works. Lord Franz cannot lead. So you do not trust your companion that carries.
No, I forget.
This is very very telling. Wigbit, Lord of the Swamp.
We have to go to the abyss with the staff to stop the vanishing?
Well, I mean, you seem to have traveled many places. Why would the abyss not just be another one of those?
That sounds awful.
There are many awful places in the abyss, yes. I do know of a place that Lord Fraz's reach will be limited.
And you want to take us there?
I merely am offering a means.
in exchange for...
I believe I've expressed it fully. Whether you've heard it or not, I'm not sure.
Wants to give the stick to his master.
I'm not sure that's exactly what I said. I think Farron Jolasor can probably explain it to you.
The staff to Lord Franz or Franz. I mean, I hear it. I'm just trying to simplify it because you guys say it in a lot of different weird ways. Want to make sure, speak on simple terms.
Then I shall be simple. You must first put the fourth piece in the staff. And
Fourth?
second...
I thought there were 3.
Well, there's already 3 there, as you can see, but
I turn around and look. Are there 3 pieces?
There's 2, isn't there? Wait, there's 2, right?
He says there's 3.
He's looking at the staff. He's looking at the staff, and he says 3.
I look at it. Do I see 3 pieces? I mean, I know
You see a staff, and you see the adamantine claw on the top.
Why are there 4 pieces now? I thought there were 3 pieces. Didn't you say 3rd piece? Why are we talking about 4th piece now?
Are you speaking to me or your companion?
Either. You know what he's... You can answer if you want.
There's 3 pieces there, and there's a 4th piece that you know very well is, and you will need all 4 pieces if you wish to, as I said, bargain with Lord Franz, or someone said subjugate, such a nasty word, but subjugate.
And why do we need you?
Now, if you wish to arrive at a destination where we can meet Lord Franz, and he does one of those noble bows.
Somewhere that he won't be able to harm us. Or has a less chance of harming us.
Now you're...
And then you'll go there, you'll make the introductions, we'll hand over the completed staff, and vanishing over, just like that. That's the idea.
I don't know if that's quite as it was, but I think you'll be on the right path.
Well, that's a plan, but we should call that one Plan B. We could probably do it with that.
Now, I have made a deal with Lord Franz before, and it did not go well for my village. And so I know that his word cannot be trusted.
You have to treat in a very careful manner when dealing with any lord of the abyss, or the 9 hells for that matter. He looks at Wiglet.
I nod. I know. Pretty much the same thing.
But I believe all extraplanar deities, as they're called here, I think
They
they're all...
would not call Lord Franz a deity.
I mean, if that is your wish, if that is your wish, you may call him whatever it is you wish to call him.
How big is he?
Lord Franz?
Yeah.
Real big?
Real big?
Yeah.
Now I kind of want to meet him. Because
No, you don't.
the god was much smaller than I thought they'd be.
Are you still disappointed in Kelowna?
She was so small.
I mean, she's a nature goddess. What do you expect?
I expect her to be huge.
Then I'll ask another question, and answer this as you will. When you arrived in this fair city, what was your purpose of coming here?
To hunt down you and the orc.
Well, you found one of us.
Not bad for a day's work.
Yeah, but
But
the
you
other
did-
one has the hostage, allegedly.
But you did have help.
We'll take help where it comes.
So the orc is nothing to you?
He's an associate. Much as if you take this bargain, you will be my associates.
Ooh.
And I will be your associate.
Mhm.
Nope.
Definitely not doing that.
That was
Right.
a terrible
Right.
sales pitch.
That was a horrible thing
Yeah.
to say.
Like, never mind. Some of us might have been considering it, but
With an association.
no more.
And now there's a clear camp of,
Yep.
We're all shaking our heads and
Yeah.
I don't want to be associated with you.
Like, I have a pretty high threshold for the minimum amount of evil that I'll deal with.
You don't say.
Johnny, I forgot to ask. When he was in his previous heraldry as the Lord, that's the one I had seen before in a vision.
Yes,
Okay,
actually.
that just finally clicked for me. All right.
Thank you. Yeah. I think I had a note to tell you that at some point. I kind of forgot. My fault. Yeah.
Mhm.
'Cause, so the biggest obstacle, it seems, in our perhaps association is that you don't trust my word. Is that fair?
Yeah,
That's
sounds
fair.
Whether or not it is true.
So it's fair then.
A fair assumption?
it's true. Yes.
Yes.
We have a lack of trust.
So then what would it take for you to trust me in this regard? No one can truly trust anyone in everything, but in this regard, what would it take?
Going around with the guys.
Something beyond what you're capable of, I feel.
I'm capable of quite a bit.
That may be true.
Can you end the
Capable of-
affliction that is affecting us?
I've been speaking for the last few minutes about how to end the affliction that's affecting you.
Are you capable
Or
of doing true good?
Are you?
Or you've been speaking of a way that you believe it could be
I think
ended.
that does a no.
One way, perhaps.
End the vanishing on us as proof of concept.
And how would I do that?
I don't know.
Ah, so we're back to being unreasonable.
Well, back to the
So we-
simple terms. We are supposed to trust you, and then we're supposed to trust Lord Franz. We have to do a double trust.
Seems to be what he's suggesting.
No,
And
I merely said I can get you to the means with Lord Franz. After that, it'll be up to you.
yeah, but I don't even like that part. let alone trusting you. I don't trust Lord Franz to have the staff that supposedly is going to throw the nine hells out, or the abyss out of whack.
Why do you care about the abyss?
I think I'm supposed to. I think it matters.
It's a bunch of demons in a very chaotic world.
Right, but like, what if they don't stay there?
Well, there's no way for them to get here.
I've seen some weird stuff.
And so the alternative is you kill me, allowing the girl to die, while you attempt to strike down my associate. And then you're going to kill Lord Franz yourself?
That's plan B.
We cannot kill Lord Franz. We cannot stand against him.
Okay, so
But we don't know that we need to.
Wait, but isn't Shar the one causing the vanishing?
Yes.
We haven't even said her name. Have you met her?
no. Have you?
No, but I've met some gods. Roll bluff.
We haven't met her yet.
Your awesome charisma. Yeah, go ahead, Wiglet. Roll that bluff.
You know he's bluffing. He's turning bright red. He's a
That one, a minor god.
As the froggy turned red in the face. Have you read those books? His face looked more red than green. No, whatever. It's good. I've read too many of them.
So I've presented you a path. And your path seems to be, instead, what exactly?
Cut you down and then find out how to stop the vanishing.
Killing you is without purpose.
I don't know if it's entirely without purpose.
He's been in our way. He killed our king.
He is
Not our-
a
your
bad,
king.
bad
Your
cat.
king? Wait a minute, Lord of the Swamp. I thought you said
I know. I misspoke. Your king. He killed a king.
Yes, did kill our king.
He killed a king.
Yeah, so we're supposed to kill you.
I didn't kill a king at all.
You are just an agent of chaos.
And you are not?
I think you're right, Wigbit. I think there's another way to do this.
I mean,
And every
Shar's
time Grim says something like that, he looks at Grim and says, "And you are not."
Right, right. Every time I'm like, that's chaotic.
it's Shar. I mean, it's Shar who's in charge. I don't know why we have to deal with Lord Franz at all. We'll just go throw his staff in the hell or something. See what happens.
And
That's probably a really bad idea. I don't
That
know.
will just stop the vanishing. Yes.
No,
Throw the
Shar
staff in
does
the
the
hell.
vanishing. We have to stop Shar. We don't have to stop or do a deal with Lord Franz.
And you will just go slay this deity on your own.
No, we'll find a bigger deity.
We might slay the deity on our own.
Hey, kind of hold his hand up like this. Sorry, inverted hands like this. And then he looks back at the Farron.
This is not the way. So let me see if I understand what we have said. I have 3 pieces of the staff and knowledge of the 4th location. Reuniting the staff, making it one, wielding it, will gain us audience with Lord Franz, which could go several different ways, but may end in ending the vanishing. You would like to prove you're an honest broker, which would result in you doing an act of good, which may not be pure good, to Grum's point. But altruism aside, could benefit us in the realm.
but it's real bad in another realm.
Not necessarily. What is something that you could do that would be good and without harm to another realm?
Are you asking me?
No, not
Okay, I got lost in that last question too. What did you say? What is something good you can do?
yeah. Bringing the orc to us seems small, but valuable. Ending the hostilities between Velaeus' realm and Famulus seems large and valuable.
This is all you ask?
No.
Oh.
But the Abyss. Everything I know about the Abyss I learned from you, and you said it would be terrible if Lord Franz got his staff.
It will be terrible if Lord Franz gets his staff.
Everybody make an insight roll.
Let's see if the Farron's lying.
No, the Farron's making one too. How insightful. Whoa, look at these insights. And then there's like
On target.
Yeah, so like when y'all say like the last thing about Lord Franz and the staff, like y'all get this feel from Lord Rallo Namandi that he kind of does one of these like, and he's got this look of almost like I'm not so sure about that. And it's just kind of like a face somebody makes when they're like,
Right? That's what you told me. That's how the Abyss would be out of balance, and it would be terrible.
Yes, but I'm suddenly curious. Why don't you agree?
are you looking at Lord Amandi?
Hello, Raja.
Agree? I just think that there are more outcomes to this than you can envision.
Just giving an evil guy an evil staff. You know, my grandma used to say, 2 wrongs don't make a right. You know? That's not how it works.
And if it makes it right here, isn't that what you are most concerned with?
It was, but now
How
I
do
mean,
you do this in the future?
the
Trading a present doom for a future doom is not eliminating doom.
and like I have friends from other realms. Again, I have one friend from another realm and he died. But
In the abyss?
no, but you know, it's a big, not world. What's the word for all the worlds?
Plane?
All the planes? It's a big,
You've clearly never been to the abyss.
no, but there's other places, you know, and like they're connected.
The abyssal realms are connected, sure, but the connections between the abyss and other places are few and far between, unless you know the specific keys and runes and things.
You both been there. I'm pointing at the
I've
Baron.
come
And,
back.
what's that?
I've come from there.
We know the keys.
Well, you know the keys.
I mean, how many times have you been there, Farron?
So
Yeah,
if you
that
can
takes
get
my
out,
gun.
what the Lord, the most powerful Lord with the most powerful staff can't get out? Like,
What would I want with? Well,
It just doesn't. You don't trade one for another.
you don't trade one chaotic abyssal plane for another world full of people trying to live.
I mean, there could be good people in the abyss. I don't know. I haven't met them.
There are a small number of good people stuck in the abyss right now.
And
They've been there for half a century.
they could easily be freed.
But weren't they cheering for you, Farron?
They were cheering when I stood up to him.
Yeah, they wouldn't want you to give them the stick.
I think that you're right about that, Wigbit.
I think we have a no deal.
Sounds
Well-
right to me.
And Graham raises his crossbow.
There's more than one way to end the vanishing, I'm sure.
And we will figure it out together.
We will.
I hope so, for your sake.
Well,
In
either
the
way,
meantime,
you won't be around to find out.
I hope you're able to pay a visit to King Alernus about his poor granddaughter. He looks at the Farron and says, "Is this your final decision?"
It's not his decision.
This is not my decision. It's not what I would like to have happen. But I'm not the one who decides. We decide together.
And that is your choice. And I hope that you're able to find what you were looking for. Well, if that is the case, and he stands up and kind of wipes himself off. You know I'm not going to wait around for you to kill me.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Well, that's fine, yeah.
Yeah. We don't need to wait.
Well, you don't need to wait.
Oh, sad.
I'm going to try to command him to stay.
No, we got our initiative because it's not like
I
he's
forgot to.
Yeah,
not
it's
like
like
he's
on the thing.
it's not like he's surprised by it. What is my initiative?
But it's supposed to be much higher.
I'll do mine again too. It's supposed to be. Oh, sadly. That's okay. We'll kill him in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just biding your time.
Oh yeah.
You want to get the last hit in.
Uh huh.
A fatal
So you can
blow.
stun him. So you can stun him, right?
Did I not do mine right?
I'm not gonna.
Doesn't look. I mean,
I know
guess
you're not
that's-
going to stun him.
Yeah,
It won't go on.
the initiative. Like you click on the initiative button.
The one in the top left corner?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I roll his. I roll. Oh wait.
Oh, yeah.
all,
I had
the,
3.
all the bad guys are still here. Wow, we haven't had a fight in a long time.
Yeah.
Definitely
Brandstorm
time
Raven,
for
he's
one.
not here. Dust's not here. Nobles aren't here. NPCs.
Not here.
It's Grim 8 or 23.
Graham is 23.
All right.
All right. Shoot that
Here we-
arrow that makes him not escape. Grim.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't bring that one because I didn't know it exists.
What? You have that one.
What?
Wigwit 22,
I'm 18. I
18.
I didn't click my character.
Look, Sylvia
Fair
looked in
enough.
your quiver, and you definitely had that arrow.
And Farron is what?
3.
Just take a level of master of
Okay.
or whatever.
Uh huh.
Grim is 23. Rowan is 17?
No, 6.
6. Okay. Rowan got tired of all the talking.
He was tired of it. Like,
He was ready to go like
They were so ready.
several
Yeah.
minutes ago. That was much longer.
I know
than
he just
36.
got like lulled into this. Like, are we still talking? Took him a second to snap out of the fact that we were not conversing anymore.
You notice I rolled a 21 over there, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. I think you have to.
I mean, I kind of did.
I think you need
yeah.
to reroll that.
All right. And
I'm going to spend my inspiration to force you to re-roll your...
So don't you wish you had a divination wizard right now?
That would be useful.
That'd be good.
I don't.
It was always hilarious when you swapped out Johnny's rolls there.
No, it was awful.
What? I didn't think it was awful.
Yeah, I did. It was awful. Okay. Do this. No, wrong way. Descending words. Okay. Okay. So Grim, as he stands up and wipes himself off, and then things happen. You are first.
Yeah. Bonus action. Grim's going to take steady aim, so he'll get advantage on his attacks for the round, because rogues. That's just how rogues work.
All right.
Or, excuse me, on my next attack roll in the current turn. So, go ahead. Crossbow with sneak attack.
So he's going to try to one-shot him here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Clearly. Oh, yeah. Woo.
Not quite.
Pretty good. That's close.
Seems pretty good.
So 25 magical piercing damage.
Okay. Yeah.
And he'll make. Is that right?
I don't know.
You had your sneak attack?
Oh yeah, there's. I did. I was checking something else. I'll make a regular crossbow attack. $27, I presume, will hit.
Yeah.
For 14 magical piercing damage. And then he'll use his Dread Ambusher to get a third attack for this round. Ooh, but does a 15 hit?
No, 15.
Shouldn't that have advantage?
No, it's steady aim is just the first attack gets advantage.
Oh,
Like your next attack gets advantage.
I see.
No, that'd be
You don't
nice.
have something if you act before them.
That is like regular ranger, but I swapped out a few things.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh.
That's great.
That's Grim?
Yeah.
All right. And oh, wait, it's my turn. Well, then hang on. Sorry. Up.
Did you do your oath bow thing on that Soof?
Oathbow is currently activated on Sark.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll get him.
I can't wait till he shows
Yeah,
up.
don't worry. We'll get him. He'll pop out.
He'll pop out eventually.
Mhm.
That guy I always have advantage on.
So just so you know, I want to be fair about this.
Mhm.
Your first crossbow shot like sinks into him and it like hits him. And then he's like, and then it like seems to keep going. He's like, ow. Like it really hurt. Like he was like, that didn't feel good at all. And he goes from the look of you like, I kind of liked you at first, and now he's looking at you like, I really don't like you at all.
I kinda like
Like, I kind of liked with the conversation. Like, we were agreeing, even though we weren't, but we were agreeing, yeah.
And the second shot?
What was the second shot?
14.
14. Same thing. All the things. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It just looks like it was a much better shot than you were expecting.
Although, let me ask this question, Grim. What is your alignment?
Lawful neutral.
Okay, never mind.
Never mind,
hurt.
that didn't happen.
It hurt. It did hurt. I mean, it definitely hit, and it hurt. Didn't hurt quite as much as I thought it was going to hurt.
It's not that good.
Right. I forgot.
He's just better than this guy.
That was like.
That's a very low bar.
That makes you really good, right?
I mean, comparatively.
Okay, it's all relative.
Right, relatively, he
Relatively
is super good.
I don't know if D&D plays relativity on alignments though.
No, I don't think so.
It's all a spectrum, man.
Yeah.
I can do this one time. Okay. On his turn, I mean, y'all know what he's gonna do.
Teleport.
He's not gonna hang around and get killed.
Wait, I'm
Good.
going to try to interrupt.
Do you have an interrupt?
I don't know. Do I?
Try to hold him with the staff.
Get him.
Oh, I
Do
don't
it.
know. Let me check. That's a good question. I don't think you actually do have an interrupt though.
Please keep him there.
No loaded
You
counter
have,
spell on that thing.
you have a lot of things, but interrupt is not one of them.
No reactions?
No, hold on, I'm reading through everything. No, not as an interrupt. I'm sorry.
Rats.
Yeah. Yeah. So he does the same thing he did back in the castle, which is his spears. It's clearly a portal, so somewhere opens, and he steps through and goes away.
We all step through the portal behind him.
I think he's allowed to close it before you get there.
I'm not sure.
I think so. I think he can close it as he will.
We need like
I mean, it takes a little time to close it.
Yeah, it took. Looks like it took 2 initiative ticks, and then it closed.
Is that how long it takes? I don't know. You might want to check the duration.
Double check that.
Closing.
All right. Tell you what, I'll
Closing
Yeah.
the portal, because if it's
closing a portal.
we need
At least 3 ticks.
3 ticks.
we need some Rise of Skywalker tech where we can like just track him through the portals, and then he's like jumping from. Then we have to,
That'd be
Yeah,
good.
that is what you
we
need.
need that.
That's what good guys do.
That's what we good guys do. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jump through a bunch of portals and
Yeah. It says duration instantaneous.
Oh, yeah.
but like, how fast is instantaneous?
When you
Really?
say instantaneous, what does that mean exactly?
Like, what? Yeah, like what is? I mean, because an instant.
Yeah. It's an instant.
Yeah, but like, how long is an instant? Like
2 ticks.
2 ticks.
6 seconds?
Yeah.
a very like a very short space of time, a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like a
You-
moment. So like in that moment,
do you have a split second spell you want to cast in reaction to the
man, I'm looking.
instant cast?
I'm looking for some instant reaction. Like
Uh,
close the portal spell.
Close the portal spell.
That's called
Jeez.
counter spell.
I got bonus action.
I mean, that is a decent spell.
Do you know what?
Pretty decent spell.
You know who has counterspell?
Ephesus.
The dude who stranded us here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there,
Yeah,
he
it
sent
does.
you here. He sent you here. He thought you could handle it.
I mean,
But speaking of
that would
handling
just
it,
stand still.
So
we
wait.
only need Ephesus to cast 1 spell.
So do we see?
Over
do
and
we
over.
I
see?
mean, you know, Haleon insulted him so much, he just didn't feel like he could do it anymore. You know.
Probably true.
The Wignitz is 18 now.
So you said like we briefly saw somewhere that he went to.
I asked last time.
I thought I heard that we like briefly saw something.
It was like, yeah, I mean, you know, flip the blinds up and close the blinds. There you
Yeah.
go.
So can I instantaneously misty step to that place that I saw for just the second?
I mean, if your initiative happened to be 21, sure. But you were a little slow this round.
I mean, it is instantaneous.
right, it's instantaneous on 6.
I mean, this all kind of happens at the same time.
I mean,
Right?
it requires an action.
Yeah, I mean, I'll like jump up here and start swinging where he was, just in case, you know, there's still bits of him there. You know, maybe I just can't see him.
All right, you are hacking away at this feat. There's no blood. You
I'll
hit the
turn
chair.
around.
Yeah.
Turn around and listen and look and be ready for Sark and a little dead girl.
All right.
Hopefully not, but
That's on them.
No. On 14, you hear a scream
From where?
from here.
Oh boy.
From where?
I'm not zoomed out enough.
I don't.
Now I'm zoomed out too far.
From where? Oh,
Can you? I don't know if you can see because of the darkness is there.
no,
screaming?
I think we can.
Can
see
you
that.
can you
Yeah, I don't.
do it in the
There?
general area that is light?
I am. Can you see it
Like
there?
over here?
Oh, on the left?
Yeah. Can you see it there?
Wait,
Over
where?
here?
No.
Here?
No?
Where?
I'm pushing the button.
Oh,
Who's on first?
I'm gonna grab Roland here. Hold on. I'm gonna move it. No, I'm not, because I can't grab anything. Now I'm gonna grab Roland. Wait a minute. Now let's try it.
Let's
Can you
say,
see it now?
Yeah.
yes.
You know why
Wrong
you couldn't
layer.
see it? 'Cause I was on the GM layer.
Sorry.
My fault. I
yeah.
could see it just fine. Why couldn't y'all see? Huh?
I thought we'd explored in there.
I mean,
I
it's
mean-
dark.
He says he did.
I went
did.
like this, man,
Yeah, he reached his arms in.
and I walked around for a second.
I mean. So, rolling 6.
All right, well, I guess I'm going towards the scream. Well, it's dark in there.
Yep. Yes.
You can still grab someone and drag them out.
If I knew they were there.
Do this.
Start sticking with your glaive and see what you get.
That seems fine.
I'm just coming over here.
All right.
Figured Wigbit's watching that side, Grim's watching the back. I'll watch over here.
All right. So you moved, right? Do you want to ready in action? You can still ready up.
Yeah,
Oh, I
ready
did move
grapple.
6. Yeah, already just the a glaive whatever comes out of here.
Whoa.
He said it too late.
Rephrase.
Nope.
She's already
Flashback.
look. She's already dead.
No,
I mean, is she? Or
Yeah.
did he like pinch her and now he's gonna
No, she's
throw him
already
at you?
rephrase.
Nope. There's only evil things come out of the shadows.
I mean, is that true?
Ooh.
Burn, man. Come on.
Yes. Another party divide. Here we go. All right.
You kill this little girl, Rowan.
Baron.
I mean, she's an enemy of the state. Look, she's from a invading foreign power.
Oh my gosh.
There you go.
I used to believe in you,
They
man.
invaded my kingdom.
You used to be
I am
Wigbit's
going
North Star.
to.
I will be. You just have to believe in vengeance a little bit more.
Back up here. And then I am going to channel power into my staff and say, Sark, come to me.
Using that, I don't know if I like using the staff. I'll have
What
to
do you
talk
mean?
about that later.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a really deep conversation later.
You don't know he's using the staff. He just said, Sark, come to me.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
you.
if
But was
I
he holding the staff while he said it?
He's
'Cause,
holding the
like-
staff the whole time.
yeah,
That's a problem by
sounds like
itself,
he's
yeah.
probably using it.
Yeah, I assume he's always
I
using it.
mean, just you guys doing the evil stuff.
I mean, the One Ring.
Yeah, you don't
I mean,
use
I'm
it. You
just
don't
You
use
guys
it.
decide to follow.
You don't have to.
One
We're not
ring
following
helps.
him. I don't know why everyone thinks we're following him.
The good guy in the room tried to convince you of that, and y'all didn't believe him. So
You're gonna have to
now you're
make me
following
prove
the
that I'm
evil
not
guy.
following
What's
Wigbit didn't try and convince us of that.
Look, I'm a good guy. I don't know what everyone's problem is.
I'm not sure how that alignment. I think
Read
there
my-
might have been a slight alignment shift.
Read my alignment line.
Is it accurate?
Yeah, it's very accurate.
Hang on one
Chaotic.
second. Sorry.
Quasi-neutral?
Quasi-neutral is not in alignment.
Quasi-neutral.
I'm just
Sorry.
doing the best I can do here.
That's the wrong one. So, Aaron,
Yeah.
let's have a like. Okay, so when you're like, "Hey, Sark, come out," and like Farron is like, "Hey, I'm gonna channel something through the staff." How much of Farron is channeling through the staff right now?
He's just channeling his will through the staff.
Is that like a lot of will though, or is that like all the will he's ever had, or is that like on a 1 to 10 will scale? Where is the Farron will in this right now?
Oh.
Yeah, like you go to the doctor and they give you that like, are you a sad face or are you a happy face? Like on that
You know
scale,
how
like,
you know how when you're not really sure how much something weighs, but you know you have to pick it up right now. And so
Yeah.
you might try a little bit harder than maybe you ought to have.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna say about a 7.
7. Okay. Now then the next question is, are you channeling your strength through it? Or is it like coming from like inside? Or is this more like you're trying to let the staff do the work?
I'll do it the worst way, so I'm gonna channel it from inside.
It's kind of what I figured you would say. I just want to know.
You want to make sure.
I don't want to start off being good at using this thing.
Right.
You gotta start off doing it poorly.
All right. Hang on 1 second.
All I heard was I don't want to start off being good.
Yeah, I was going to say that was a perfect beginning to that sentence.
That's what I heard. That's the only part that I heard.
I think that's probably taking it out of context intentionally.
I don't know. That's what I heard.
I heard I'm using this as a tool for
It's hard
good.
to hear through the shadow.
I mean, can you use the One Ring as a tool for good?
No.
Yeah,
No.
absolutely.
No, you
No.
can't.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
You would use it out of a desire to do good.
Right. With everything you do. All right. And so what did you say, Sark?
I said, Sark, come to me.
Sark, come to me. All right. I think it's going to be the same. So what is my save DC?
Is it whatever my save DC is?
Yep.
20?
That's a big number.
It's a pretty big number.
All right. So, let me see. I got to see which. Oh, it's that one. Okay. Okay. I am. Oh, 20, huh?
20.
20 is a big number.
Against whatever it's against.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll make this one. I mean, I do have advantage.
You're rolling.
Yeah. But I get +0 on this roll.
Oh, good.
All right. So Farron says, Sark, come to me through the staff. Farron, you lose a
Yeah.
point of constitution.
Permanently?
Just you lose a point of constitution. Just,
We'll find
Alright.
out.
just know you lose a point of constitution. And so on these kind of spells, does it happen immediately or does it happen on their turn?
What's the spell?
It's like a
Well, any
charm
kind of
or a-
any
Like a
kind of,
command
yeah, like
or
that kind of spell.
dominate person? I think it's the next thing they do if it's like a command.
Yeah, like the next time they can act, they have to do the command.
Right. Unless it specifies otherwise in the spell.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah. Like command is
that's what-
specifically
that's
on its
what I
next turn.
assumed too. Yeah. Okay. So y'all see Farron say that, and then it's back to Grimm's turn.
Grim will hold
See, nothing happened. Everything's
until
fine.
after he sees someone to shoot at. So not ready, but he'll hold.
You might see someone to shoot.
Yeah, but I mean, that's why he's holding instead of readying.
All right, so Grim's holding. Okay. Wigbit is what?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm going into the darkness.
Okay.
But there's a wall at the darkness. I can't get my character physically in there.
So, all right. So here's what we'll do. You take a step into the darkness, and I can see where you're going, so I'm just gonna control it from where I am. So I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, and you take a step in.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's completely dark. What do you do now that you stepped into the darkness?
Like feel around. Like
so there's like a pillar to your like diagonally off. There's another one of those pillars. And then like you don't feel anything like this, like just feeling like this way. Like so here and here in the dark, I know you can't really see, but to your north and to your west, you don't feel anything. To your northwest, you feel a pillar.
So I'll kind of keep one hand on that pillar and then kind of feel out with the other hand, holding a weapon, of course.
So you're going left hand on the pillar or right hand?
Counterclockwise. Going counterclockwise. Going north.
This way. Okay. Yep. All right. Okay. So you
there might be a girl
there.
Maybe even dragging my feet so I don't step on her,
25, 30. How fast do you move now?
8 squares. So
40. You're at 40.
Yeah.
Okay. You're always going to keep your hand on the pillar as you're moving?
Yeah, I'm going to keep my pillar. Yeah, just so I don't get lost. Right.
35. Yeah. What is that? Hold on. You came from the chair, right? 10, 15, 20, 25. 30, and then 35, 40. Okay, so the pillar is to your left. You've moved 40, and you're in the darkness.
I'll keep moving.
Double move?
Yeah.
Pillar still to your left?
Yep.
Okay, so you move 5 feet, and then you detect, or you don't detect, but like you can tell there's like you're about to walk right into somebody.
Is that somebody half orc or a little girl?
It's dark, but they're standing upright, and I mean,
I'll move into their square, and if they're a little girl, I'm sure I'll displace them.
Okay, it's clear it's not a little girl. Right. And that, and you're not going to be able to displace them from the space. So
okay,
yeah. Right. So you try to move into an enemy space, and you don't.
Yep. Think I'm done then.
Okay. All right. Well, this will be interesting. So then the fellow that's beside you, he. Oh, this is fucked up. All right. So, all right, Rowan. So you see Sark, like, you feel like somebody bump into you and then kind of decide I can't move through you and I can't move through the pillar, so I'm going to go around you. And so, Rowan, you see Sark step out there. I don't know if you had, I know you're a little too far away. I know you needed one space, right? You needed one space away.
Why did it step diagonally? Come on, man.
Because the Baron's over there.
Step orthogonally. You're not going any.
Sorry.
That's not any closer to. Hang on, let me look at one thing here. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Glaives don't have the throne property?
No, my spear does, but glaives Slaves note.
5, 10. Okay, 15, 20. So, y'all see Sark walk towards Baron. Baron, what was your command?
Come to me.
Okay, well, he's come to you.
And then
And then I think, like, yeah. Yeah, and so, I mean, he gets to you, and then he seems to kind of like, wait, why am I out here where I don't really think I should be, beside this dude with the staff.
on 13, you
So
can find out why.
so after he is now moved,
Did you have to double move it all?
no, that was actually, let me check, 5, 10, 15, 20, that was actually 30 feet.
That's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
That's fine. I just needed him to get out from cover. We can do something with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put holes in them.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I'll be coming around the corner shortly.
No. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to look here and see, like, what does he see? He can't see Wigbit. Oh, he can't see Wigbit. Never mind. I forget. He can see. At his eyeball. Oh, Grimm's right there too, isn't he?
Yeah, Grimm's got his crossbow raised at him. Seems like he's just about to shoot.
He's gonna move again. So he moves here. Farron, you can take an away because he's moving away from you.
All right.
19. Is that the one I'm looking at? 19 is a hit. Yep. Oh. I think it's still a hit. Maybe it's the wrong number. Yeah. 19 is it.
All right.
Okay. So 7.
Yep.
All right. You smack him with the staff as he runs by.
Yes, I do.
All right.
Where do you run to?
So he ran here, and then he steps into the darkness. Does he? No fool. Well, I can probably see his little number, so there we go. Yeah, so he ran into the darkness.
All right, Grimm continues to hold then.
Okay. Well, I'll put you back on 23 then. All right, Roland.
All right. 2, 3, 5. Where'd he go?
He's in there.
Grimm, you can see Grimm pointing towards here, and Farron says that.
I'll be up here.
Okay. Baron?
Nobody have
All
a
right.
gust of wind. I'd take it, but I can't.
All right. Farron's going to. Worked before. Everything looks like a full action that I want to do. I thought that I had a protection spell that was a minor action, or a bonus action, I mean. I don't know if I have it written in wrong or if I'm just misremembering. Probably just misremembering. Farron will cast a blue shell of ice across his body. And then move to here.
Okay. Is that the whole he starts his turn, he takes damage thing? Is that what that is? Is that armor bag of this, or is that something?
No, but I will get some bees getting out of me. Those are a bonus action. Bonus action bees.
All right.
Bonus
Once
action
the
bees.
Farron gets here, bees start pouring out of his skin.
Most good guy ever.
The good guys. All right. Grimmer's still holding.
Yeah.
All right. Wigbit.
I will go
So
a little bit like more forward, and I'm trying to find this girl.
Okay. So you're gonna like just complete the circle.
Yeah,
So you realize if you're going the other direction, you were like one space
it's
away from her.
right there. Yeah,
Yeah. So you kind of like reach. Yeah, you kind of like step on something, and then it doesn't move when you step on it.
Yeah. So I'll pick her up
Okay.
and come out of the smoke.
Okay. And that would put you like right here.
Okay. And she's not okay.
She is not okay.
Okay. Yeah, then I guess I'll just like walk her over here and set her down. It's not like she's dying. She's like
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
dead.
she's dead.
One hit point.
All right. So that's probably like my turn.
Okay. So, Farron, what happens when I start my turn?
You take 5 poison damage.
Because you started your turn.
Because I started my turn.
Just never start your turn, you'll be fine.
Okay. Beside you. Well,
Farron looks like such a good target right now.
I mean, he does, and I feel
He's
like
got an attractively low AC. Like, you know,
I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you. We don't know all this stuff yet.
he
Yes.
just wants to
Is this where she
just
is?
stab him with a dagger.
I put her over here, like on the. Yeah, did I go too far with that?
Hold on, I'll put a thing
Yeah.
over there in a minute.
My bad.
Why are you making me walk so much, man?
I'm sorry. Yeah, it seems nice. Like I don't want to be on the ground. This is like
There you go.
nice.
I'm assuming 25 hits.
Yes,
Okay. How much damage am I taking?
25.
What kind of damage is it?
Ice.
Ice. I don't know you can do anything about ice. That's a lot of damage. Well, I hit you, and now I stab you for how much?
I really hope he's attacking me multiple times.
I mean, you might get through your armor, your temporary hit points on the first hit.
I
mean, I don't have any temporary hit points, so that'll be easy to do.
Oh, is this just anytime
no,
they?
I do. I have 25 temporary hit points.
okay, well, so
Because of my blue shell. Perfect.
well, hang on. So
Just
that's
the first part.
That's whatever that +3. I didn't have the +3, so 20. The 20 piercing and make a Constitution saving throw. DC 16.
Okay.
All right, and so you take half poison damage. You take poison damage. You probably take poison damage.
Let me see what I'm resistant to necrotic and poison damage.
So
So you'll take half and half. Yes, you take a quarter.
10.
Yeah. So 43 becomes 21, becomes 10.
Dang.
So a blade lashes out of the darkness and stabs you, and then stabs him, apparently.
You have to make a concentration save for any spells you can concentrating, Mike.
No, I didn't have any spells that were concentration. So 10 and 17.
Yeah. So yeah.
27.
No, 10 and 20. Because that 17 should have been +3. I forgot to add them up.
Oh,
So 30 altogether.
all right. So he did 5 to me, and I did 25 to him.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
And like ice hits him when he hits you. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we need to fight an ice bee guy. That seems counterproductive.
ICBs?
I mean, that
I
also
see.
seems quite strange. It
Yeah.
doesn't go together at all.
Yeah. We'll not do that anymore.
Plenty of other targets.
Yeah. Well, next round. Rowan.
1, 2, 5, 6. 1, 2. That's it.
Oh, Rowan moved away from the battle.
He gets
There's
to
no battle. There's no guy there.
All right, Farron.
Our 2 melee dudes are running the wrong way.
You gotta carry her towards the battle. Wait. Always carry them towards
Always
the battle.
carry. Oh, that's right.
Yes. We always bring our friends to the battle with us.
Actually, so I mean,
Yep.
standing where Grim is, he could see the dagger come out from the darkness.
Yes. That was a short sword, but yes, you can see the short sword come out of the dark.
Do we see it come out from like right in front of him, or more from this side, or more from that side?
More from the other here.
Okay. Then Grim will go on 13.
All right.
And shoot at there.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, shoot where he was? Where you think he was?
Shooting at where that sword had come out from.
Okay.
Okay. So advantage because he's my oath, and disadvantage because of the darkness. I'll shoot him. I'll shoot at him.
You'll shoot him.
I mean, I'll shoot at him. A 19 hits. And he's adjacent to one of my allies, assuming he's there. So he would take 19 magic piercing damage if he's there.
Okay.
And then I'll shoot him again.
All right.
Potentially. 20 to hit
Mm-hmm.
for 9 magic piercing, assuming he's there.
All right.
Okay.
Arrows or bolts whiz into the darkness.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, did the damage that the Farron did matter because he's a good guy?
Not
Like
super
the
not.
extra damage from being good. I think that's just against the rakshasa.
All right. So the rakshasa.
And it wouldn't work
Yeah.
anyway.
You got to find the right guy.
You just have to have a broader definition of good guy, and then
No,
you're there.
as long as you're holding that staff, you can't do good guy damage. It's not gonna work.
No, it's not like the crown.
It's kind of the opposite.
Quite the opposite.
All right, Baron. I should have also said, because this doesn't matter, but at the end of the when his turn was over, there's a dark space up here that dissipates. The one that's up here. The one that's up here. That was up here. I don't know if you can see it from where you are. Oh wait, it's still in darkness, right?
It's still
Purple
cool.
gone.
Right, because even though I got rid of it on my screen, that doesn't mean they got rid of it on your screen. Hold on.
No, it's gone.
Yeah, you got rid of the
I see
purple
where it
lines.
was.
There we go.
There.
Is
Okay.
that better? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So that dissipated.
Neat.
Sorry.
That's good.
And it revealed nothing, but it dissipated. So anyway, Farron.
It revealed
Alright.
a big pillar, didn't it?
Yeah.
It did. It did. Yes, that's a good point.
Yeah. There's a big pillar right there.
Bonus action. The Baron sprouts wings out of his back.
What kind of wings?
Okay.
What do they look like?
All right.
Demon wings.
It's a good thing you're around that side of the darkness.
I made a guy.
Are any of you guys? Oh, jeez. Are you guys watching What If?
Yes.
I have not been, no.
Did you see the Doctor Strange?
Yes.
This is what I'm thinking about right now.
What's the doc?
And we know
I
it.
mean,
Yeah.
I just want y'all to know, like, I offered y'all something that y'all could give this to somebody, and y'all let Farron have it. I just want y'all to know that. Bees and
We didn't look.
demon wings.
That matter is not settled yet. We're going to have a talk about
We're still negotiating. Right. We're gonna
Real
have a
big
talk.
heart to
about
heart
who
after all
gets some
this.
of the
Big
staff.
hard
Yeah.
Wait, so you made a guy? Hold on. I heard you said you made a guy.
Yeah,
With wings? With wings? Where is it? I want to see it.
just getting a little copy of it. I'm not deleting the Farron.
No, that's cool. I want to
Just so we can see what he looks like in this
do
moment.
wings.
I made a couple versions.
Oh, man. Yeah, definitely good guy wings.
Okay. Yep.
They're red.
Yeah,
You could have chosen any other color, but you went with red.
yeah. The good guy wings.
All right.
And
Johnny.
then I made this one just for Josh.
Oh, great. Let's see what this one.
Oh, is this what he actually
This
looks
is
like?
what I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you said. Oh my god.
All right, Johnny. I hope you're ready for this fight to
Hey, listen, I'm ready.
continue past when we're done with the
No,
half
that's-
work.
Look, yeah, man. I'm just
Right.
sitting here and
That's not
watch.
what
You don't have to roll anything.
He just has the wings. When I
That'd be
originally
great.
read it, I thought that you shape shifted into something from the lower planes, but you don't.
No, just the wings.
You just get wings. It's much less interesting.
I'm still interested.
there's also still bees and frost. Like,
Yeah.
it's
The
Don't get
frost
weird.
has dissipated. He just doesn't have the guts to attack me again.
yeah, the bees though. That's just not helping the image.
I mean, the optics of the Farron aren't great. We've been over that.
What is the fair doing? Does he sprouts wings and then you bonus action?
Sprouts wings. He's still in a good spot to be in. And then yeah, we'll put this one up also.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
A
jeez.
necromancy spell.
Oh no, never mind. I can't do 2 concentrations.
Ah,
That one's concentration also. It's not one that just hangs around.
Oh, it just doesn't have it in there.
well,
Oh, wait.
no, I mean, it
What's
doesn't
it
say
doesn't have a
concentration.
duration either.
It has It has concentration.
Shadow of Moil? Seems to
Yeah.
be missing a few things.
It says concentration on my end.
Oh,
It doesn't say it in there. Well, that's weird.
Is that a Tasha spell, or is that a Xanathar, or is that a
Xanathar.
Xanathar?
That's concentration 1 minute.
Okay. They can't do 2 of those.
Now, Flame Shield does not have concentration. Flame Shield just hangs out being a Flame Shield, right?
Possibly.
Looking creepy.
Yeah, it's a 10-minute spell, so probably.
Yeah.
yeah, just
All
duration.
Fire shield, 10 minutes.
Fire Shield.
now
Not
you
Shadow of Moil.
So now you have demon wings and you're on fire. Okay, got it.
Yep.
Got
Yep.
it.
With
No,
bees.
just shedding
With bees.
wispy flames.
Got it. Cool.
I'm emitting light.
Good guy.
That makes him a good guy.
No.
Wait, what are you doing?
Fire, bees, wings.
I don't know. I'm kind of looking at Rowan like, what you up to? Like, what you doing? And then, cause like I was about to leave.
And then I came running
Like-
over.
You got this?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I'm out of here. So I guess I can move properly. So, Graham, you're shooting into the darkness.
Yes.
So, you move. There it is. So I think that's my first move. Nope, that's my first move. And then I'll kind of to Graham. Where is he?
And you see Grim pointing in this general direction.
Okay,
Over by the Farron. Can you drag him out?
I can try. And then I'll go in to the darkness and go around clockwise around the pole.
You're going clockwise, pole.
Yeah, I
How
have-
many?
I have 40 more feet.
From there.
This is a double move.
There's a double move again. Actually, it's not. I can do 20 more because I'm getting my rage up.
So from here, you're going clockwise. Does that mean you're going to go
5,
diagonally?
10,
So you're gonna
Yeah, I'm
start
gonna start diagonal. Yeah, and so I'm
Okay.
gonna go to that square
'cause-
and then up to this square.
Yeah, because Grim pointed in that general direction.
So yeah, that would be my fourth spot. Would be that far right corner.
Okay.
Now you know that the spots closest to the Farron are covered in bees.
I don't
Yeah,
know
He doesn't know that actually.
anything about
Oh,
any
No.
Farrens.
But also rage, it's fine.
All right.
that's true.
So yeah, what happens when he enters your zone?
I think
If
it's
you
only
do
when you
that-
start your turn there.
It's only when you start your turn?
Yeah, I'll check. Starts its turn.
Okay. So you move to that space and you don't
I
bump into
never bumped into him.
You don't bump into anybody, no.
Okay. I guess. I don't know. Farron, where is he?
I thought he was in there.
And is the
If I
Farron,
ghostly gaze see through the mist?
is he right next to me?
Does your gaze give you true sight?
No. There it is then. It lets me see through walls. That's why I was thinking that.
Oh.
But you're still able to see things on the other side that are visible through those walls.
I'm not going to use it anyway. It doesn't matter.
Farron, are you?
Yeah, we'll
are
just go
you-
with no, because I think you would have been able to, if that were the case, you would have been able to see through it the last time it was used. So
Is the Farron talking like right next to me?
he's diagonally from you, but he's like right out there. There's like a lot of buzzing going on around here.
I'll keep moving.
So you
This
take,
will be my second move. Yeah, and I'll
okay.
yeah
So down.
go clockwise. Yeah.
Okay. So you take one step. So you're 5 feet, and then you start to move into the next space, and then you bump into somebody.
He's here in front of me, and that's my turn.
So I don't know if you probably can't see where you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm actually gonna move you to the other side here.
Okay.
Because if you were just on the inside, if you were here, he's here, like the space below
Yeah,
you.
below me.
Does that make
Yep.
sense?
He's right
Okay.
in front of me.
Then it's kind of cut off from you seeing the whole board. So maybe I won't do that. I'll move you back so you can.
No,
see the
you're
board.
good. You're good. I'm not. I shouldn't see anything. I'm in the dark right now.
Oh, that's fair too. All right. Fair. All right. All right. Well, I guess it's my turn then, and I've been discovered again. This, I mean, okay. Something happened. Grim, it's your turn.
Holding.
Okay. Roland, your
Is it
turn.
still there?
All right, I do that.
Boom. Less than a minute. Get
Mhm.
up.
Nice.
Time to get up.
That's a boss move right there.
That's
we're
what
good
good
guys.
guys
Yeah.
do.
Yep,
Yep.
What? What do you mean?
I'm such a good guy. Look at me.
Jeez,
We're all good
Rowan.
guys here.
He left
All
the
of us.
fight to bring back a little girl.
Actually, can I back up a step? I'm sure you're still gonna do that. I don't know why I keep forgetting this. This happens in his turn. That space went away. Did that actually go away on your screen?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, the purple did.
Yeah, I realized. There we go. Is that better?
And then we get there.
Yeah. Let me move back. Oh, sorry, I was moving you back to actually where you were, which would be beside that pillar.
Yep.
Yeah, so that area of darkness dissipated, and he's not there.
Here's what the
And then revivify.
Revivify. I
Look at
revivify her.
that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
F that rakshasa.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's gonna die.
She's in probably a little state of shock right now. Though.
I'm gonna take her around. I'm gonna try to just gently take her around behind the thing and just tell her.
You get the impression that she's actually not going to walk. She's almost in that state of
Okay.
you could just you could gently just put her over there, and she's almost catatonic at this point. She's just like, what is? Terrible things have happened to me within the last minute. Then
Stay here and stay quiet. We'll keep you safe.
that's kind of all you get from her is like a whimper.
So 1, 2. So I move 1, 2.
There.
Drop her there. 3, 4, 5. 6. Okay.
Look at Rowan trying to keep that G on his character sheet.
Look, I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy. I'm just a vengeful. Sometimes The vengeful makes me seem like I'm not a good guy, but I am a
We
good
get a little out of control. What happened?
I get that. I totally get that.
guy. No, you don't. You're evil.
Our spectrum of good is so
You have
fucked.
devil wings.
Yeah,
I see you
Rowan
over
took-
there.
Yeah,
Rowan
no,
took
we
me
can
like,
see
They
that.
don't make you a bad guy. they
Yeah,
just
actually,
make you
Rowan, that's a good
fly.
point. Yeah, Rowan, you turn around and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
all right, where is he? And you like turn around to run, all of a sudden you look over and you see Farron's got wings
Yeah.
because the darkness is gone now, so you can see the Farron like he's got wings like
Yep.
propped out of his back, and like he's got
Bees
this
coming out of
aura
his
around
skin.
him, and bees are
Yep.
flying.
And he's
Fire.
very
And he's
obviously
holding
wielding
the
the staff.
staff.
Yes.
The humming staff.
I
that you've heard
understand
so
what's
much.
going on here.
This is great. So yeah, all right, Farron, good guy.
All right, he's got to fly over here.
Okay.
All right.
Ah, shoot. And we'll just flame strike this whole space right here.
Oh. I love Flame Strike. It's one of my favorite older spells. I don't even know what it does in start. I don't think it's quite as impressive in 5th as it used to be, but it's still cool.
It doesn't age super well,
Yeah,
but
it's one of my favorite 2nd edition spells though.
it's a nice small fireball. I'm not
Sometimes you need a
sure why
small
it's a 5th
fireball.
level spell.
I mean, controlled fireball is not
Because you
bad.
don't kill your teammates with it.
That would be why. Yeah.
That's never happened. What are you talking about?
2 of us in this room would
Wait, what?
disagree.
Wait, what? Oh, wait. Sorry.
It's gonna.
What do I do?
That you can't see
Ooh.
where it is. Let me make a square where it'll go.
How big is it?
It's a 10-foot radius.
5x5?
I felt like it was 4x4.
Flame Strike.
Oh yeah, I always count from. I guess if you count from the center or from a
Corner. Yeah.
a corner.
Each creature in a 10-foot
That's-
radius.
Oh.
I guess, yeah. I think we've always
Yeah.
played that though. Like,
I mean that makes more sense than from the center
mean-
of a square.
so is that a 5x5 area then?
If you start from the center of a square, it'd be a 5x5. If you start from the crosshairs, it's a 4x4.
I'm gonna
So
make
it makes
it
more
a,
sense for it to be a 4x4.
Gotcha. Okay.
That
Now
would be closer to the actual,
Right.
geometric radius.
I'm gonna center it on the square.
Like we've done the 5x5 before.
Space, 'cause I don't
We
wanna
have.
actually hurt somebody because I'm a good guy.
Okay.
No, bunny ear. No.
Bunny ears.
Mhm.
Okay. So you're gonna just flame strike that whole. Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
So what's my save?
Whoops! I just deleted my guy. 20.
Flame strike yourself.
I just tried to delete the
All right,
box,
hang on,
I
I'll
deleted
put-
my
I'll-
guy.
All right. I got to put you back on here. Is what you're saying, huh? All right, hang on. Let me read my save first. What is it? A deck save or is it a
Dex save, yeah.
it's a deck save? I'm gonna do that. Okay, I guess. Yeah, I might be able to do okay with this.
I bet. Yeah.
Critted. Yeah. I
Yeah.
made my save. Do I take some damages? Do I need to put you back on here first? Hang on, let me find you. Aaron. Copy. Oh, Farron's big now. There we go. Is that you? Can you control you again?
I still can't see me. Look at those rolls.
Nailed it.
You can't see you because you need vision. That's why. How about now?
I can.
Okay. I think you were one spit. Yeah. So I'm taking half of that. Is what I'm taking.
Yes.
Or I'm
5
taking.
fire and 6 radiant.
So if they're subjected to an effect that allows them to make a dexterity saving throw to take only half damage, they take no damage if it succeeds on the saving throw.
Yeah, I figured that was the case
Oh,
with their rogue.
but not
And
if
now
the Johnny
see its
drops.
dramatic effect.
The Johnny just dropped.
It worked.
Yep.
See?
He dodged it.
Yep.
He dodged it by just not being there.
I
Yeah.
hate rogues.
Yeah. It's frustrating when they do that, isn't it?
Right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Hey,
You just wish they wouldn't do that.
were you just giving us an example of how he dodged that?
You hear, Johnny?
I don't hear.
I
Him.
cannot hear
No.
Johnny.
We don't hear.
Oh,
you.
okay.
Oh,
Keep
you're
talking.
quiet.
Quiet. Keep talking. Roll
Warm
20
it
is
up.
adjusting.
Yes,
A little bit.
He has the evasion.
Yeah.
The
There you
evasion
go.
trait. So that's why he was
All
able
right,
to not.
you're at full
get
volume
the-
again.
Okay, all right. So he evaded your flame strike.
Yeah.
He sure
Yeah,
did.
Well, I guess we don't really know that.
No,
No,
flames
we
come
know that.
down and hit the darkness, and yeah, you would know it in one way or the other. All right.
Does it damage the
There are
darkness?
no screams from
Yeah,
that
does the
work.
oh, actually, good question. Does it burn away the smoke?
Radiant damage?
Oh,
And
man, that's
radiant, the light burn away the dark.
like add your initiative back.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know if flame would burn away dark.
No. Would it all just erupt into fire because it's the smoke?
You're
So
asking
now
me
he has-
science. You're asking me science questions right now.
Yeah. Do we science him?
Too much science.
Yeah, I think
That's
that
not-
I think
that's
it
not D&D
combusts the
science.
particulate into nothing.
Yeah. I don't know. Does this how science works? Because I don't understand.
And
The
It's
big
like a
question
fire
is the
starter at
smoke
that
still
point.
there? Can it
Oh.
disperse the smoke? Is there enough force as this 10-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder of holy flame comes ramming down
Holy
into
flame.
air?
I hate
Yeah.
Soof. His charisma is so high. He knows how to sell something. I hate him.
Right? It's got to have some type of force to it.
I can go with it. I actually like the
Right.
sell.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with
I mean, let
Yeah.
let Mike get something out of it.
it.
Oh, hey, there's a guy there.
There he is. Yeah. So so the flame
Yep.
comes down when the flame just. Yeah, actually, you don't even see the flame come down because it's in darkness. But all of a sudden you hear and then
And then
Yeah.
there's a bad guy
And he-
there. And
and
also,
he's
I
like-
see a heifer.
he's just ooh.
Ouch.
Yeah. And he's like,
So darkness is still present for me.
I still see darkness.
oh,
Oh, I don't.
Well.
It's gone.
There must be a line on our side. There,
Oh,
it
there we
is.
go.
how's that?
Hey, Wigbit, you got a
Hey.
target.
Yeah. And he's like, he had just finished like ducking, somehow dodging a flame strike. So he had, I guess, ducked and rolled, and he's like braced against the pillar. And then it appears, and then he looks around. And it's like, he's got that, remember that eye, that void eye? And then his other eye, though, is clearly doing that like scanning the room type thing. And y'all don't even need an insight. There's sort of an oh shit look to his face that, you don't think he's probably had very often in his life. But now he's kind of like, oh shit.
What we want.
That's right.
Yeah. And so, Wigbit, it is your turn.
I'm yelling as I come to here.
Into the bees.
Into the bees.
All right.
Yep. Whatever. And then I'll just start swinging.
Yeah, I kind of figured you would.
So first with the war pick.
This is gonna hurt.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt.
That's what it does.
That's not hurt. That could be better. All right. And then with the Warhammer.
Need my darkness back.
That's a little better. 15 bludgeoning and magic bludgeoning, and then back with the war pick again. Oh,
That is a miss.
whoa! Those damn bees.
Buzzing in your ear.
One flew in your ear. Just you swung that third time. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
All
killed
right.
that bee though. Yeah.
That's true. I changed targets last second. All right. Yeah, and I'll be barking at him.
Okay. So he starts his turn. Mike, does he take damage?
Yep, 5.
5. Okay. And so as he's taking damage, he's got his sword up. He says, I can give you what you want.
What can you give us?
I can give you him. As he's like trying to swat bees away.
Who is him?
Lord Raloon, I know where he is. So he says that, but otherwise he's holding for the moment. I guess he wouldn't have technically started his turn then.
You can't avoid with a hold. So I mean, he would start on 13, on 14 as tick happens. So he'd take the damage. If we get back around to 14, he'd take it again. So I know that's something in the books. Like you can't avoid bad stuff by just saying,
just
I hold
holding
forever.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's taking no action.
Right. But he wouldn't start his turn again before 14. Like if he said, all right, I'm jumping in at 7, he's already taken the damage.
Doesn't take the damage again. Okay, so he's taking the damage this turn.
Right.
But otherwise he's just, and that's what he says on 14. So on 13, Grim
gives out a curse in Orcish. Specifically a Hexblade curse.
Yeah, I kind of figured. I knew where this is going. But,
waiting for him to just show up. So I've got advantage. So add sneak attack.
Tried to negotiate.
26 hits.
I was
4. Hold on.
Man, you guys don't diplomacy very well.
Here we go. And then got it. So 24, 37 magic piercing damage.
Yeah,
Still up.
I mean, you hit him and he. I can tell you what you want.
That's.
Then you crit him.
Then I crit him. Then I crit him. So let's go ahead and roll that.
You don't really need to, but you can't.
I mean, what I want
roll all
to.
your damn. Yeah, roll
because I get to roll this, and I get to roll that again, which is actually not that great. It's actually less than what I did with the first one, but I'll take
30?
it. So another 32 magic piercing damage.
So 69. Yeah. Yeltsin did 32 when he had 7 left. Yeah. So and then your second shot just hits him like square in the heart, and he just slumps against the pillar and slumps down. And you can all see like this void in his eye, like the blackness that's there, just slowly just fades away. And then when it just burns away, you can see there's literally an empty eye socket there.
Whoa.
There's like nothing there.
What did he say?
He said he could take us to the Rakshasa.
Oh. Sorry. I was kind of focused.
The Farron's wings go away, and so do his bees.
Put the big old X.
Is it my turn?
Well, that was Grim's turn. If Grim is done, I don't know if Grim has any more.
Grim is, if Grim moved and bonus action, he did all the things.
So that would be Roland's turn.
All right.
That'll be Roland's turn next. Yes.
Yeah, I do that.
Hold on.
Revivify?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring him back.
It's been less than a minute.
Oh, you revivify Sark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got to take us to the Rakshasa.
Oh,
Right.
shit.
But now
Yeah.
he's got 1 hit point.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll kill him again once he takes
Right,
us
yeah.
there.
You've got
We'll
one
get the
hit point,
experience
no
twice.
weapon.
I have no eyeball now, though.
Yeah, now he's got no eyeball. What's he gonna
What
do?
good am I to y'all? I don't have a magic eye anymore. Y'all took it away from me.
You don't need
No,
that
does he
to
need
take
it
us
to
the
tell us
Rakshasa.
stuff? He's got a regular tongue, right?
That was a special eye, huh?
Huh?
All right.
Now he's alive. I guess that's something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you immediately revivify him, and he. Oh, actually, no, he wouldn't have made that save anyway. I forgot because he's a half orc. He has relentless endurance,
Well, it's true.
but I don't.
So he'd be at 1 hit point.
But isn't that like a? Don't you have to roll for that?
No, you just go. Oh no, I would have died. I'm at 1 hit point.
Oh, it's just the
You're
one
thinking
time.
of zombies. Orcs aren't zombies, man.
Okay, well, I don't do that then.
Hold on.
Right. You just walk up and go, "You, you're in trouble."
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
That's right. Okay, yeah. I thought it was no. I thought it was for anything like that. Like they had to at least roll for it. If it was a certain amount of damage,
Nope.
they couldn't do it or anything. Okay.
Nope.
Yeah.
Half-orc
So
just
that
goes. Should have killed him.
yeah. I mean that shot like he like pins against the and he like starts to slump. And he's, ugh,
Grem loads another bolt and aims it at him. And then it's his turn.
and then roll his turn. Yeah. So
Not to shoot. He's clearly just guard.
I guess he's at 1 hit point.
Yeah.
Is that what the spell? Is that what the thing does?
Yeah. Relentless endurance is when you would go to 0, you go to 1.
1.
Like-
Okay.
But
So then his eye did not blink out then,
Okay.
because he didn't actually die. So he still
Right.
got that ugly, that twisting void of an eye. But he's all right. So Rowan, it is your turn. I'm sorry. So what do you do?
all right, this is subdual.
Oh, what?
Subdual.
You can do subdual with a glaive?
Yeah, it's like below duel.
Yeah, I turn it sideways and flat like slap him.
Right.
Huh.
Subdual.
All right, and okay, and then he's out because I don't have another one of those.
Good. Because I've seen him get away before, and we're not doing that.
Right. Let's tie him up first or something.
Like, yeah, I'll take you there. Oh, no, we're not.
I want to point out for anybody watching that Rowan killed all the innocent little town guards, but when we face the big bad guy, he keeps him alive.
He's only like
he's
a
not the big bad
he's
guy.
like- He's a
He's
middle
one
bad
of
guy.
the big. I mean, he's a bigger bad guy than the town guards.
He's
were.
He's a
taking
middle
us-
boss.
He's taking us to the big bad guy.
And that is the true spirit of vengeance.
Yes.
Like if all those town guards were like, "Wait, we can take you to the big bad," Rowan would have been like, "All right, but
We
then
know
I'm
we're
gonna kill you."
Sharists. Don't kill us.
They were
Right,
in,
exactly.
They were in the way of the big bad guy.
They didn't know how to
Should
negotiate.
not have been there.
Sark knows how to negotiate. That's why he's not dead yet.
All right, so yeah, Rowan pops him over the head with the glaive, and he collapses. And he's out.
Good. Cool.
Now the Farron turns off the bees and everything.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't actually know if combat is over.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
You gotta-
know either.
Like from my end, I don't have anybody else on the big board, but I don't know if
Right.
y'all.
Oh, we'll go through the rounds. We'll see what
Is there
happens.
anybody within 160 feet?
Yes.
There's
Yeah.
There is.
No other
Technically.
people.
Three
Movement
other
takes
living
off down the hallway.
There's a lady.
Yeah, there's a young girl behind the
Child.
throne.
I see that she's missing, and I'm wondering what the heck Rowan did with her. I'm a little concerned.
I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, but Wigman, it's like up the hallway.
All right, we're good. Tears away up the hallway. All right.
Just maybe the Rakshasa's around the corner. Maybe his teleport only goes.
If you want to open a door, you can open the door if you want to.
There's a door?
Yeah,
There's the door.
it was there. Hold on. It was the one you were closest to. Right there. Nope. Up
Oh.
here.
Yeah, I'll rip that door open and run
Alright.
down that hall.
Okay.
Just takes off down.
Seems right.
Yeah. And you run down the hallway. All
All
right.
right.
And Wiggly runs down the hallway.
And I cool off after a little jog.
And Grim?
We'll just keep the bow. He'll step forward, and then he'll keep the crossbow trained on Sark.
And Rowan?
So when we're ready.
Coup de grace.
Yeah, just.
You just wanted the coup de
I
grace.
knocked you out just so I could stab
Just
you
to
when you're
do it,
knocked
yeah.
out.
Well, at least when we're ready, we can track down the other one we're after.
Did we tie him up or something?
Probably wise. I didn't want him escaping again the way he did last time.
They have rope?
I have
do
rope.
have- yeah.
I bought.
You bought an adventurer's
I
pack.
did buy. I bought an explorer's pack when we were
There
in
you go.
town.
So you
And
definitely
I
got
even
rope.
bought extra rope.
Didn't you buy
Hey,
one of
you can-
every pack?
That was my original plan. I was going to buy one of everything on the whole list, but I only bought an explorer's pack, some extra rope, an amulet, and a spyglass.
Nice.
The spyglass is pretty bougie.
It's the most expensive thing on the list by a lot.
Right. I mean, yeah.
Lenses, look, lenses are very, very advanced.
Yeah,
technology.
Well, yeah, because it's really difficult to make it by hand, and you certainly couldn't use like magic to make one.
Nope. Can't make lenses with
But
magic.
still, that magic has to be expensive,
You
right?
can make a lot of stuff with magic, but not lenses.
Because otherwise, it would come back at you.
Yeah, science
Right.
only on the lenses.
Yep.
Farron,
And as you look at Farron, Rowan, you actually notice that he has some blood trickling out of his ear.
Farron, are you feeling okay?
Not exactly.
Didn't think so.
And everybody notices. And I mean, you know.
I feel weak and tired.
I think it's the staff.
What do you mean?
I think we need to be much more careful what we're doing.
I didn't
with this.
realize how much of the staff. I thought that I only had one piece of it.
I think it might
I
be.
thought that the piece that Ephelos gave me was the only piece of the staff that I had.
I think you might be holding something far more powerful than we thought.
I think that you're right about that.
The tiger might not be so wrong about some things.
What do you mean?
That is something evil,
It is quite evil.
something worth destroying.
I think we need to be very careful with it. We don't know what kind of influence it might have on one who wields it.
Or those around it.
You might be right about that.
I assume this is while we're tying up Sark.
Yeah, I'll tie him up. Yeah.
I didn't. It seemed like I could call Sark to me, but then I did.
Right. So Grim will kick Sark in the ribs to try and wake him up.
He doesn't wake up.
Oh. How do we get him back awake? You hit him pretty hard.
It's gonna
I
be a
hit
little
him
bit.
hard?
I mean,
I saw what you did.
it wasn't hard. It was good aim.
might be a little bit before he's back, unless we want
I have some herbs that might help, actually.
Let's wake him up, see if we can find the tiger.
Do we want to
The
do
hunt
Right.
is not over.
Get out my herbalism kit.
Do we want to do that here?
Is the tiger that far?
Could be anywhere.
Let's see what Sark has to say.
to. First, I'm gonna relieve him of his possessions.
Yeah, that short sword especially.
We also have someone else we need to see to.
He nods over towards the chair.
Mm-hmm.
We can protect her, but it would be good to know where our enemy is.
Maybe we get her somewhere safe and out of sight of him as quickly as we can.
Okay. Grim will walk over as unintimidatingly as possible, as a half-orc with crazy arm tattoos can, and they'll put out a hand towards her with, crazy, void arms. Come with me. I will take you to somewhere safer.
So she's yeah, right. Sorry, my fault. She looks up at you, and I mean she has a look of but that look really hasn't changed. And you do get the impression she's probably frightened of you, but at this point she's just kind of frightened of everything. And so when you say that, she doesn't get up. She just stays exactly where she is. I mean, she is like one step away from being totally catatonic. I mean, she is in shock of some kind right now. So when you say, follow me if you want to live, she's just looking at you.
Rowan, she broken.
Come
with me if you want to live.
I'll go over there. Where is... Can we take you home? Can we take you somewhere safe? Just let me know the way.
And she sort of leans towards Rowan, which means sort of away from Grim, but doesn't say anything.
I would like to get you home, but I need to know where that is.
Apparently, big fancy castle.
And she reaches an arm out and kind of wraps, because by this point she's sort of on the floor, and she reaches an arm out and just kind of very slowly just kind of wraps it around your leg, Rowan. And it's just and then she's looking back at Grim.
All right, I'll scoop her up.
Okay.
Can you?
And she whimpers a little bit when you pick her up, but she doesn't resist.
Can you just let me know if I'm going the right way?
She kind of gives you you feel just a little bit of a hug, that you've got her, and just a little bit of a squeeze.
All right, I'll start walking out towards where we came in.
Okay.
I guess wake him up if you can, and I'll be back in a minute. Or if you
I'll scoop up the half orc, just like Rowan, and start walking after him.
We should stay together.
Yeah, should we?
Grem will follow Rowan.
Okay.
I do not want that tiger to ambush you or anyone.
Is the Farron following too?
What are we doing with Sark? I'm sorry.
Wigbit picked him up.
Wake him up
Wigbit has him.
a little bit.
I don't know why I had him pictured tied to a pillar.
No, just mummified.
Tied
just
together.
wrapped up in every bit of rope we have.
Yep.
Okay. That makes much more sense now. Yeah, I'll go with
Okay.
stay toward the back.
So you go back out the ugly red door.
Yep.
Yeah. Down the hallway where nobody's living here. And back down the stairs, back to the main foyer entry area. you're like leaving totally the grounds altogether.
Yeah, and I figure I'm just gonna start walking and like pick away. And if she starts being like, giving me some sign that it's not the right way, I'll turn around.
Okay. So when you get,
Go ahead.
what are you saying?
No, Graham, as Rowan kind of like looking around, is this not the king's granddaughter? Should she not just go to castle?
I'm sure. I think she'll be able to tell me where she'd like to go.
Okay.
So when you get back outside and you get to the gate, the gatekeeper is he's sitting there as you come back out, carrying this little girl and Sark, and he stands up and he looks at you. Is business concluded for the night?
It is.
Never know.
Well, very good. And he opens the gate. Have a good night.
This guy. Is this like a creepy vibe? Does this guy give like a?
I mean, not like a. I mean,
Not like a rakshasa type vibe.
No, I just like a riffraff vibe, like or like creepy doorman vibe.
Yeah,
Hey,
definitely like
right this way, like pale and kind of like
what's his face from Clue?
oh yeah.
I was picturing the salesman from Resident Evil.
Oh yeah, like
I don't know if creepy is the right word.
okay.
He definitely gives off like a different vibe though. I mean, it's definitely like he seems like when y'all talk to him when he's coming in and now he's leaving, like he seems disinterested in like most things. In fact, he was very focused remember like last episode when y'all came about the ugly red door. Like that was like the only thing he was like focused on talking to y'all was go to that. And I can't believe how ugly this door is. And like that was like the only thing he seemed to have and everything else was just like you have business with the master type thing, And so now as you're leaving, he's like, "Is your business concluded?" And then he just opens the door, and he just kind of does one of these, like walk on out. But so I don't know if you call that creepy, then maybe it is a little creepy.
Yeah,
he's just kind of.
I feel like he's kind of creepy.
He's just sort of, business is concluded as far as he's concerned.
Like, welcome to my master's estate.
I mean, maybe not.
All right. Anyway, off we go.
Yeah. Anyway, you hear the gate close behind you. And I mean, when you turn around and look like past the gate, you see him just kind of look down, and he just sits back down on like this stool that he's got set up at the gate. He kind of crosses his hands, and he's just sitting there, just kind of staring off into nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, am I just gonna carry this guy through the streets?
And just as a reminder, it's probably now like a little before midnight because it was 10:30, 11 o'clock somewhere in there when y'all came here. So I mean, I know the battle didn't last that long, but I mean, conversation, getting here, walking across the city, and all that stuff. Yeah, so I mean, it's there are obviously some people out, the taverns and things like that, but it's not as busy as it would be, at 9 o'clock in the morning or anything. But I can't answer Wigbit's question. That's just
it's not dead, but it looks a little weird. We grab like a cart or wheelbarrow or something to put him in.
I mean, what is there to hide? We have caught the killer.
All right.
Now I'm picturing him like this. By the way. That's how I picture the guard.
Diego.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. There's got to be a painting somewhere in there. Somewhere in that
That's
Maybe.
where
estate.
the Rakshasa ran back to.
Yep.
I will have to admit, in my mind, I was picturing more like the guy from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Okay, yeah, Riff Raff. That was yeah.
Yeah, the Riff Raff from Rocky Horror. Yeah, okay, that was his name. Okay, I couldn't remember that was his name. Yeah, yeah. So maybe he is creepy then. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If he's like Riff Raff, then yeah, he's
Yeah.
creepy.
Gotta look him up.
Riff Raff. Oh yeah, Riff Raff, like the bald with the lank, like
Yeah.
stringy hair and.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Good call on remembering his name. Nice.
Well, I'm glad that we've settled that. For anybody watching, the guard is more like Riff Raff from Rocky Horror than Janos from Ghostbusters 2.
There you go.
Maybe he's like a mix of them, you know.
Okay, a little
a
little Janos,
A little bit of B.
little this, little
Okay.
that. Yeah, there you go.
So if you're trying to get a good mental picture of the guard of the estate, just mix a Riff Raff and Janos. And...
Yeah, I feel like I need to make a mini of him now.
That is a heck of a matchup.
Yeah. So we use the girl as a compass to get home?
To get
So
her home, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
she's obviously like, I mean, it takes a little time, but she's obviously like pointing towards the Citadel, like, you know. So she kind of like lifts her head and looks over towards the Citadel, and then kind of does one of those like, you know, weak points that way.
Mm-hmm. I'll just go that way to the Citadel.
With
Are we
Yeah,
going
I'm just
to
gonna.
question?
Hmm?
Are we going to question Sark before we get there? I feel like the guards will want to take the person who tried to kill her.
Maybe just stay back while I take her back to the gate and get her home, and then we can take him and do what we wish.
Do we no longer want to talk to her dad? Or
Grandfather?
grandpa?
I mean, I think
I kinda
as soon as we
mentioned it.
got here, we assumed we were going to storm the Citadel just because it was the last thing we did.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was like an actual thing we were going to do or just like we did it once. Maybe it's just our MO now.
yeah.
We got a Citadel, we're going to storm it.
campaign is actually just now about storming citadels in every
I
city
think
you go to.
yeah. I think that was when we were under the impression that
We thought-
maybe he was a Rakshasa, and so we'd like go talk to him and
Yes.
figure it out.
Right.
Now we
Just
know
ask
that
him.
he's not. Or
Well,
well, we don't know that he's
do
not.
And just figure out why.
But he might be more imperialistic than King Celsus was.
So like he'd be worth taking out and getting the XP. What?
You said that.
Okay.
Maybe. But we got to track down the Rakshasa though. I don't know if we have
Yeah,
time
we
to
got-
like
Yeah.
do a whole big battle here. We'll come back
I wanted to actually talk to them.
and come back and get it later.
For real talking. I don't mean like kill him.
We don't
Oh.
always know. We don't always know.
Bloodshed.
Just
So,
like
so when you're saying talking, you mean talking?
I mean
like a
talking.
conversation,
Yeah,
like-
like hey, let's
Like
share
using your words?
our words. Let's share our differences. Like hey, what happened? Why were we at war?
Yeah, like
know,
why'd you come invade our city? Sorry about all
You know,
the
like-
soldiers we killed.
Was it because it was like
We used to
Lord
be-
Roland or whatever his name was? Because he's kind of a bad guy, man. He tried to kill your granddaughter. I think that's a good conversation starter.
Listen, all I'm happy about is I appreciate that for 2 years y'all were talking about playing an evil party, and like y'all made it there. Like that's you know. Like,
One of us is there, not all of
Yeah,
us.
only one. And we're
And
gonna
there-
and we're
that person is in denial.
yeah,
and
and
we
we're
all
still
agree who
working
that
on
one
it.
person is.
That character, rather. That character's in denial.
Yeah.
The person knows.
Yes.
The
And we're look, and we got an eye on that situation. We're
right.
I really like playing a warlock.
so
So what is the
Yeah,
so
I mean-
Roland's taking the girl to the Citadel, and
Do we need to talk to
yeah,
her
how are we doing
grandfather?
this?
I didn't hear what you said.
Do we need to talk to her grandfather?
I mean, you're not going to get a better chance.
What do we
This is
want
true.
to know from him? Just why he invaded?
I mean, yeah, and what's this rakshasa been doing? And I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah, how'd they get there? Where? I mean,
Do you think he knows the Rakshas is here? Was here?
probably not.
But they would know the name of this lord. Graham would remember
Ralun Amundi. Yeah.
Ralun Amundi.
I mean, he may not trust us, so that's
Yeah, he may consider us enemies.
right.
So we all should go in.
Well,
Can we wait?
An hour.
Like, just a short rest. Just, no reason.
Yeah.
Well, if we need to, but I'd still like to get her back with her family so she can start recovering.
No, let's bring her back to her family. We don't need to fight here.
And Rowan and Farron, you both would recognize, like, she's gonna be okay, as far as the physical part is. Now she might have some psychological trauma coming from all this, but as far as like she's just in, again, kind of that state of shock right now, and she will feel physically better probably just after a good night's rest and eating, but then the psychological part is different, but
About trying to get her home.
Yep.
I mean, a couple of us could just stay with Stark, and a couple go in, and that way, if things go wrong on the inside, we can get them out.
I can stay with Sark. Well, we don't even know his name. Do we know his name? I know we know his name because you typed it.
Oh,
Graham wouldn't say anyways. I can
It's
stay with the orc.
it's
I thought you had gotten his name somehow, and so that's why I
No,
said
it
it.
was just on the turn order.
Oh,
I also put it in the notes too, so I assume
Yeah.
maybe like somewhere in the battle somebody yelled out Stark or something. I don't know, like the first battle in the throne room. I don't know. Y'all been calling him the half orc the whole time, so you've been role playing it correctly. But sometimes it's easier for me just to call them by their names, because that way I don't have to keep saying the
Yeah.
person. So,
Or someone else.
or someone, yeah, or someone else. Yeah. Anyway,
I'm happy to go either way. I
You
think
should talk with the king. You're good at it. And yeah, he's staring right at you.
I mean, I could go. I probably shouldn't. I don't know. It would be neat to meet another king.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go.
Oh yeah, there was a
Farron.
king in there.
Farron and I can watch after Sark.
Kings and gods. Fun to meet them.
Or,
you collect them.
that's right. See how big they are.
Mhm.
Very curious how big this king is.
It might explain why he's
Like
been
this-
invading.
Yeah.
He's bigger.
And how do they compare to gods, like on the scale of bigness?
Pretty
Right.
much about the same. As far as I can tell. Now I want to meet Lord Franz though and see how big he is.
Yeah, we'll get there.
So yeah, the Graham
I
and
hope
Farron
not.
will take Sark, I guess, back to our inn. We can sneak him in. Between the two of us, pretty sure
Yeah.
we can.
Yeah.
And those two can take the young lady to the Citadel.
Okay.
Do that.
Are y'all gonna do anything with the half orc when you take him back?
But Graham has no plans.
What do
Graham
you
will
mean?
wait until everybody comes back together.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just wait with him.
In
If he's
like in our room.
unconscious the whole time, that makes it easier.
If he becomes conscious, we'll fix it in the least lethal way.
How many hours he was out?
Oh yeah, we got time.
And then, so Wigbit and Roland are taking the girl back to the Citadel. So, just what is this going to look like? Are we going to open the gate and just like knock and say, "Here's the king's granddaughter"?
Basically, that was my plan. Yeah, just walk right
Okay.
up,
And like,
stroll up
can
to
we
the
talk
gate.
to him? Like in a non-ransom way? Can we talk to him?
Yeah. Look, we just want to chat a little bit.
Okay. And so this is like going to the gate, and you were saying you want to talk to the king.
Well, I'll tell.
So what?
First, I'll tell them like we have the king's granddaughter.
Okay.
She was the target of an attempted assassination.
Okay.
We'd like to speak with the king. He's available, and get her somewhere comfortable.
Okay. So there's going to be a bit of a hullabaloo at the gate here now once this is recognized. So yeah, there's plenty of guards that appear, and they obviously have weapons trained on you because they're not really sure what you're doing here with the king's granddaughter, and but it seems pretty close to standard operating procedure here when somebody shows up at the gate.
With the king's granddaughter,
The king's granddaughter
saying they saved her
part,
from an assassination.
That part they don't seem really sure about what they're doing, so they're they're just
Happens all the time.
right. And, it takes a few minutes, but eventually, there's shouts across the lawn and things like that, and so they escort you in, and you are, again, you're surrounded. You get the feeling you could take care of this circle of guards that are around you pretty easily.
Just be ready with
They
it.
don't know that.
Just in case.
They don't know that, right?
Just
Right.
in case
So
we admit.
they're walking you in.
Get the bag of flour ready.
I'm actually keeping really close to you in case we need to start jumping.
Never know. Yep.
But they show you in, and eventually they take you to a bigger room. It's not like a throne room, but it's like a bigger room. And they show you in, and there are several, people of rank in here. Clearly there's some higher level people in here besides just guards, but there's plenty of guards in here as well. And you see there's an older gentleman, in his kind of royal night clothes, as it would be, and he's looking at you as you walk in, and he's kind of he's clearly eyeing you like, who are these two people that have brought my granddaughter in? And so there's like a moment of just like silence, like nobody moves, nobody says anything, everybody's just waiting to see, like, is the king going to tell us to attack? Is the king going to tell us to arrest them? Is the king going to like speak? So they're just all, so it's a complete silence. And then he looks and says, "Tell me what happened," is all he says.
We're just observing.
They're quite nice. Quite nice.
Yep.
It's a long story, but we came to your city in search of one who had caused much disruption in our city. And in the process of tracking him down, we discovered an associate of his hiding in the shadows who wished to, well, somehow he had gotten her hostage, and they intended to use her as a bargaining tool with us. And when we did not want to bargain with them and their foul ways, they assassinated her and meant for her to suffer Didn't want that to happen. So, we brought her home.
She looks unwell, although I see no sign of physical injury.
No, I took care of that. But I think she's had quite an ordeal.
You said your city. Where are you from?
We're from Emilis.
And when you say that, there's a little bit of a ripple throughout the room. Emilis.
Yes.
And you see, like,
Tell him about the. I kind of whisper to Rowan because I don't want to talk, but tell him about the Lord, the rakshasa,
I'm getting to it.
traitor. Okay.
and like, as you do that, like, one of the king's advisors, like, leans over, like, whispers, like, you know, and, like, says something to him. And, like, the king nods. How do we know you were not the ones who kidnapped her and you're here for nefarious purposes?
So, we came here tracking a rakshasa. You had dealings with one of their kind? They're devious. And this one made its way into Emilis and saw the King Celsus's death, took his place on the throne, and caused chaos throughout Emilis, and then escaped. Tracked him here.
The ripples have become like loud murmurs now. You know, there's like, yeah.
And I suppose if you wish to believe that this is not the truth, we're here for some plot, then I don't know what else I can do to assure you aside from seeing your granddaughter back home safely and wishing to hear any information you might have about such types as this one being in your midst. If you've heard any rumors of perhaps any others in league with him that we can weed out.
There's a couple of the advisors that are looking at you two now with kind of like eyes of, I mean, they do not like you. The king is listening to what you're saying and says, "Where did you find her?"
Our search took us to a manor in, was it Wessenmar?
Yeah.
Not far from here, where this rakshasa we mentioned was calling himself Lord Ralun Amandi. And
So when you say that, you can't say anything else because the ripples just become a murmur that becomes like there's people shouting now. Like it's whatever you say gets drowned out by the noise. And
success.
then the king is like looking around and looking back and forth. And he finally like holds his hands up and everybody starts shh. And he's Lord Amandi.
That's what he said. It said. Or it showed its true form.
That's I don't. And one of the advisors leans up and whispers something, and he looks at him and it's kind of like tells him to back away. And Lord Amandi, you say?
That was the name he gave. And he presented himself with the visage of what looked like a nobleman.
He is a nobleman.
This creature was pretending to be Lord Amandi, much the way he pretended to be King Celsus in our city. I assume he had some designs on causing similar havoc here, if he hasn't
He
already.
kind of straightens his back when you say that. You know, as in, that could never happen here. That kind of thing. Yeah, but there's clearly some skeptical looks about the room. Yeah. And he turns around and he says to clearly some kind of captain, go to, Lord Amandi's residence and, see to. And he starts to organize. And Lord Amandi is still there, I presume?
In his home?
Yes.
We didn't actually search the rest of the grounds after the rakshasa disappeared, because we wanted to get her back as soon as we could. If it's anything like what he did in Emelis, then I hope someone can get to Lord Amandi in time to save him. But it might be too late.
We will need to verify certain parts of your story before we can continue. I suppose my granddaughter can provide a little light, but probably not tonight.
Probably not.
Have you found a place to stay in the city?
We have.
Then tomorrow morning, was it the two of you?
We have other companions awaiting us.
As in 8 of you, 10 of you?
4 of us.
4 of you. Then in the morning, return. Maybe we'll be able to verify and figure out what's going on.
In the morning, then.
He just turns around, walks out.
Bows or kneels or something. Not quite sure.
I'm gonna do that to him.
Oh,
It's fine. It's fine.
They're all looking away, be like, "What are you doing?" And the guards kind of immediately come to you and they clearly are showing you the way back out.
How big was he? Was he normal size?
How did he compare to Celsius is the question.
So he's older than Celsus. So I mean, by this point in his life, yeah, I had never pictured Alernus as being a very, very big man. So
Yeah. Little kings.
Yeah.
they're not like lords of the swamp, man.
I mean, in the swamp, you got to be the biggest, man.
Right.
How tall is like that?
He's not super tall, but he's pretty buff.
Yeah.
It's like 5'5".
I think it's a little below average, but he's like
5'5", 2.
And he's got a little bit of a hunch to his back, just I don't know the way that he carries himself, but he probably could be a couple inches taller if he actually stood up fully straight. But There's a lot of muscle getting in the way now.
Yeah, that is exactly what I was
Right?
thinking. What are you doing? Oh, no, we don't do that here. Yeah, so they
It's always, it's always the green guys. The green guys
Right?
always think they got a bow.
exactly. So do you leave and
As long as long as they let us, and Wigby and I
Yeah.
don't have to kill all of the guards.
no,
Right.
not tonight.
Okay. Not
Yeah,
yet.
they're gonna give you a full rest before you have to kill them all.
Get a long rest before you have to kill
That's
all the guards.
considered.
Kill all rest. Yeah, you can kill them all in the morning. Yeah, it'll be faster that way.
Yeah.
yeah.
They will.
Yeah. So you get back to the inn, hour or two later when all's said and done. Sark still has not woken up. And so are we going to wait for him to wake up and then question, or are we just gonna long rest and then question him in the morning? I just need to know procedurally from here.
Yeah, we can just make sure there's not any way he can leave.
I mean, I'm not gonna sleep anyway,
I was
so
gonna say, we can tie him down somewhere to make it easier, and then make sure someone's got an eye on him all night.
Take watch. In addition to the Farron watching all night.
Okay. So take a long rest and then question him in the morning.
Yeah, it's good to question people over breakfast.
Yeah, it's just more polite.
All right. And we'll figure out what Sark and another king has to say next time.
All right.
Another big one.
Yeah.
He's not dead yet.
No.
No, I'm talking about the king.
Oh yeah.
Right.
He's not dead yet either.
Right.
Yeah.
and neither is the Kalaraja.
Oh, we gotta fix that.
Yeah.
Zero.
Yeah,
That's 0 for 3.
We're
The
fixing
good
it.
news is we don't have to talk anymore.
it's true.
We've
Nope.
done
Yeah,
that.
we made
yeah.
it pretty clear. Like
We don't have to wait. Yeah. Let him just stall
That's why-
Around the bush.
forever.
That's why there was a question mark at the end of the episode title.
Yeah. No, there's no.
I thought that we had come out to a pretty good deal at the end of that.
What what
what?
to give this
Give the staff to him, and
he'll take us
Well,
to
you guys
whatever
don't
place
have the
this
abyss?
is, and
Staff to him.
we hand over the staff to the demon lord.
No,
I don't think that's a good.
no, we're
But,
gonna
like-
use the staff to imprison Lord
I
Franz.
just don't know if
no.
it's
Let's
gonna
be
work.
honest. Let's be honest. The first word you used when you were talking about it is more accurate to what the Farron is planning.
What's that?
Subjugate.
Yeah.
Imprison. Like, no, I'm the ruler of the abyss. Like, see how that sounds evil?
Yeah, I don't think we're. I don't think that's the route that we're gonna take
Right.
here.
Right. Like imprison good people sometimes, not always, but it's a good guy thing to imprison the bad guy. But like to subjugate the bad guy and take over the bad guy's realm and then take over all the other bad guys' realms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
kind of
I'm pretty sure there's got to be another way to solve the vanishing.
right.
But if it's
without
like
selling our souls,
right.
Right.
But if it's like if it really comes down to it and it's like solve the vanishing, but to do so you've got to make the Farron like the overlord of all evil in all the realms. Like we might just let the vanishing happen.
like better have everyone dead than have
Yeah.
the Farron as their overlord.
This realm's gonna
We're
get
just all gonna
wiped,
forget. Yeah.
but
Everybody just forgets things. That's way better than the Farron being the Lord of Evil, right?
Well, I mean, forgets things and dies. It might be, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really curious where rock bottom is.
I hope we don't find out.
oh boy, we're just gonna. Why do I feel like we're gonna have to end up just being like, all right, you got to leave the staff with us. We can kick you off to whatever demon realm you want, and you can go do whatever you want with Lord Frost, but you're not taking the staff. Sorry, that's staying here. Good luck.
Right.
Yeah, but if he figures out how to use the staff by then, he might kick our butts.
Yeah. So that's what we got to be on the
He'll be
lookout.
bleeding out every orifice, but he'll kick our butts.
That's what we got to be looking out for. Is
Yeah.
And
if it
We're
gets
gaining proficiency with the Staff of Evil.
yeah, like if it starts seeming like it's just real easy for him to use it, we're gonna have to take that away.
if he's just walking around doing this and people are doing whatever he wants to,
Yeah, once he starts like puppet mastering everybody,
right,
by just like thinking about it, we're gonna have to get this.
By the time that I start puppet mastering everybody, believe me, you guys will be fine with it.
No, I will never be fine with it.
We'll be the first puppets, is what he's saying.
Man.
I mean, just powerful vassal.
Say again,
This is
Johnny?
bad.
I mean, he'll be your most y'all be his most powerful vassals, right? Right?
That would be a bad guy's plan. Yeah.
Yeah, look. All right,
And
maybe.
so you know that'll never happen because the Farron's a good guy.
Right. We're convinced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe just like
Yeah.
maybe the next time he's not paying attention, we just like break that thing in 3 pieces and we all go running. We all take a piece and we just leave.
Wow,
Yeah.
now that would be a right
Yeah.
turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Johnny-
Actually, that makes me
Johnny's like,
think.
I need a month off to figure out.
Right, I need a month to plan. I
Yeah,
gotta
maybe-
plan 4 different campaigns here.
Maybe that's the 3 pieces of the staff you have so far. Maybe there's like an upper and lower part to the shaft itself, and now you've got like the crown of it.
That could be.
Could be. And then the 2 parts happen to come together, or it could still be that the Farron's part of the staff, and so
That's
know.
extra weird.
yeah,
Or the thing that he's holding isn't the staff at all, and the 3 of us are the 3.
Oh,
And what's the 4th piece?
dragon head statue.
Milan.
You just need to give the Farron the dragon head statue. What could
Milan's the 4th
possibly go
piece.
wrong?
Or like we all have a piece of a staff inside us or something, some crazy thing like that.
and one of us just hasn't found it yet.
I don't know.
So many theories.
It's a staff
Yeah,
infection.
write all this.
Wiglet's got that.
I'm sure.
Write all
well
this.
done.
Write all this stuff down in your notebook, Wigbit. These are all.
It's all-
These are
it's all
all
in.
possible theories.
Yes,
All viable theories.
all viable
The
theories.
question is, which one's blue, black, and bronze? I mean, that's. I must be blue. The green. That's kind of similar.
Blue, yeah,
Maybe,
green, blue.
maybe
rose,
Geralda is the 4th piece of the staff then.
Oh. Could be. Could be.
We'll find out next
Well,
time.
yeah,
Or probably
Next
some other time.
We will find out which
Next
theory.
time.
Times from now.
Yeah, we'll find out which theory is
Lot
the
to
correct
think about.
theory
Which theory is the most wrong?
at some point in the future, but it probably won't be 2 weeks from now.
No.
But there will be more D&D 2 weeks from now, so you can join us then. And next week, come hang out with us for some Scion. We'll I don't know what we're doing. We don't know what we're doing. We got to
No,
figure out.
We'll fail again.
Yeah, we got to figure out what's going on with our like jar of hot blood.
Right?
The like stairs to nowhere disappearing land, wherever the ninja lady went. We got a lot going on. So yeah, come find out about the hot blood next week. Whose blood is this? And then and then we'll see you in 2 weeks for I don't know, a chat with the king. Maybe slaughtering a whole bunch of guards, finding a
Killing Sark
rakshasa,
again.
killing Sark again for the final time. Who knows? Who knows what'll happen? But thanks.
I think Sark could be rehabilitated and become part of
Your
the king
evil,
guards here.
your axis of evil that you're forming.
No.
He's gonna be your right hand, left hand. I don't know, one hand. He's like, look, man. I think this real evil assassin with like the creepy void eye. Like he'd just be good to have around, right? Right,
Right.
everybody. Everybody's
Yeah,
cool
I
with
mean-
that, right?
Right.
Okay.
He's just another good guy.
He wants to fight Char, so you know.
Yeah, I don't think we'll probably just kill him.
Why don't you want another ally against Char?
Not this guy. We want good allies that we know are never going to turn on us or be corrupted by any kind of, I don't know, strange influence.
I agree.
I thought you would. All right, thanks for hanging out, everybody, and we will see
Have a
you
good night.
next time. Good night.